The Chicago Bears are on the air. Good afternoon, football fans. I'm Jack Brickhouse along with Irv Kupcinet saying welcome to professional football with the Chicago Bears. Today we're broadcasting again direct from Soldier Field in Chicago where the Bears meet the Oakland Raiders. We'll have the opening lineups from Cup in just a few moments. This game is brought to you by your Chicagoland Solid Men of Old. They're the guys to see for solid engineering, solid driving comfort, and solid service and value. That's what makes Oldsmobile a solid Oldsmobile. The G. Hardeman Brewing Company of La Crosse, Wisconsin, makers of Old Style, the pure brewed beer from God's country, and by Household Finance. Come on into HFC where people use their money to get the most out of life.
Some proud father came back from his solid men of olds and described his new car to his son as being solid. But solid is a description that seems to have grown through the years. We just want to remind you that the latest in this continuing series of solid cars, service, and deals awaits your test drive now at your Chicagoland Solid Men of Olds. Want to find out what solid really feels like? Come test drive an Olds today at your Chicagoland Solid Men of Olds. Solid.
Now that the 77s are here, this would be a good time for you to visit your Chicagoland Solid Men of Olds and see what made the Cutlass the best-selling model of any make in 1976. One drive, and you'll see why it promises to be a solid leader again this year. Well, Cop, what does Mr. Rosenberg's pump primer have to say today?
He's got a magnificent one today, Jack. One that should be preserved for prosperity. He says that the Chicago Bears opponents for the 5-week period ending today, Minnesota, Dallas, Los Angeles, and Oakland, own a collective record of 26 wins, 4 losses, and 2 ties, and control first place in 4 of the NFL's 6 divisions. So, as they mingle in pro football's high society again today, the Bears have a right to think that a team should be judged by the company it keeps. And certainly the company the Bears are keeping today, the Oakland Raiders, puts them in very, very high society. The Oakland Raiders, one of the more successful franchises in professional football. Incidentally, they come in today's game with a record of 7 victories and 1 defeat. But here's an interesting statistic. Their offense has scored 167 points, only 10 points more than their defense has allowed, 157 points. Now that's because the Oakland Raiders have won many, many close games by a few points, but they lost a whopper to the New England Patriots who walloped them by an overwhelming score, which gives us that very unusual statistics where the offense has scored only 10 points more than the defense has allowed. The Bears, of course, are angling today for a victory they feel they must get if they have any chance whatsoever for the National Football League playoffs. They're 4-4, and if they can go through with a 10-4 record, they would be right up there among the playoff candidates. If they have a 5th defeat today, that probably would end their playoff possibilities. But the Bears have proved this season the big thing is that they belong in the ballpark with any team. Whereas we couldn't say that a year or 2 ago. They can play with anybody today and give a good account of themselves. They have the toss down there on the field, and if I'm not mistaken, let's see if the Bears won or Oakland won the toss, and they will receive, so we'll give you the Bear defensive lineup. Mike Hartenstein at left end, Jimmy Osborne left tackle, Wally Chambers right tackle, Roger Stillwell is returning today at right end. It'll be Ross Brubaker, Don Reeves, and Wayman Bryant as the linebackers, Alan Ellis and Virgil Livers as the cornerbacks, and Doug Plank and Craig Clemens as the safety men. Ladies and gentlemen, our national anthem played by the University of Wisconsin at La Crosse Band.
family room.
We could by then.
Come on in. Come on in. Come on in to HFC.
When extra money's keeping you from getting something you really want, apply for an HFC loan of up to $10,000. You could be enjoying what you want right away. HFC, an equal opportunity lender.
Come on in. Come on in. Come on in to HFC. You can use our money to get where you want to be. So come on in. Come on in. Come on in to HFC.
Household Finance, where people use our money to get the most out of life.
Come on in to HFC.
At Household Finance Corporation, you may borrow up to $10,000 on a wide variety of repayment plans. HFC has 65 offices in the Chicago area. See your phone book.
And here's the way the Oakland Raiders will line up on offense. It'll be Cliff Branch, one of the best at wide receiver, Art Shell, Gene Upshaw, Dave Delby, George Beeler, John Vella, and Dave Casper from Notre Dame, the hottest catching tight end in the business today. Another wide receiver, Fred Bolitnikoff, always a danger. Kenny Stabler, the great quarterback. And Clarence Davis and Mark Van Egan will be the running backs. The officials for today's game. The referee is Chuck Hibberling. The umpire is Bill Ross. The head linesman is Al Sabato. The line judge is Bruce Alford. The back judge, Charlie Reed. And
There's the kickoff, and Garrett will take it. Carl Garrett, former Bear at the 2. He's at the 10, the 15, cuts to his right at the 20, gets to the 25, hit very, very hard and knocked down. Man, he went down fast and hard, hit there by Knox and by Musso and by Virgil Livers, and so the Oakland Raiders have the ball. 1st and 10 to go now. They're going to spot the ball down at just about the Oakland 27-yard line. Carl Garrett, former Bear, is the fellow who returned it. Incidentally, Carl, of course, is having a so-so year. Actually, Rick Jennings, who's also back there, is the number 10 kickoff receiver. Carl's averaged 22, and the other guy 24 per carry. So here we go now. Stabler, the quarterback. And here's the snap and the handoff, and it is a running play. A running play right off the bat by Oakland. Skip Thomas carries the ball at left guard, and he is hit very hard.
And Bryant was right there along with Stillwell, who's playing today for the first time after that injury. They made a beautiful defensive play there. The offensive line could not move the Bear defense at all, and so it's now a 2nd down and 8 to go, Jack.
2nd down, 8. The ball is at 29-yard line. Wide to the left out here for Oakland now is Cliff Branch, one of the fastest men in football, if not the fastest. Bolitnikoff split out there to the right. Strong side right on the play. And again, it's a handoff to the same man. And again, he is nailed. Clarence Davis being the ball carrier on this one. And down he goes right near the line of scrimmage.
A great play by Wally Chambers, who broke through into the defense and stopped the ball player before he could get started. He didn't make the tackle at that moment, but he swung around and did bring him down for a loss on the play, or rather no gain at least, so it's 3rd down 8, Jack.
3rd down 8, long yardage situation. Now the Oakland Ball Club, by the way, the long yardage situation this year on 3rd down has completed it 38% of the time. Their opponents have made that first down 40% of the time on them, so we have 8 yards required by Oakland on this play, and here's left-handed Stabler going back. He looks for a receiver, and he is sacked. He is sacked as our old pal Stillwell got in.
Roger Stillwell on a beautiful play there. Chambers almost got through. He was finally blocked out, but Stillwell came around in sort of a loop, and he made this play to down Mr. Stabler for the first sack of the game, and of course the Bears are right among the tops in the league of sacking quarterbacks. So now it's a 4th down punting situation.
That's the 34th Bear sack of the year. And here's the greatest punter in football today, Ray Guy. One of the few fellows as a punter probably in football history ever drafted as a number 1 choice, but because he's a punter. Here's the boot. He gets it away. It fights the wind, the northwest wind coming down to 17 miles an hour, taken by Virgil Livers, and he is hit. He gets away from the first man. The ball got away from Virgil there at the 45. However, the play was whistled dead before the ball got away from him. 35 yards net. And that's not too bad a punt, I'll tell you, against the 17-mile wind against the punter coming out of the northwest on that play.
Very clear, sharp day today, Jack, with a 17-mile-an-hour wind, which is favor the Bears at this moment, of course. They have the wind to their back, and right now, let's see if the Bears can move the ball. Now, the Oakland Raiders use a 3-man line and 4 backers up. So We'll see a little different offense, presumably, by the Bears today.
Ball's on the 46-yard line. Here's Avellini handing off now to Harper, and Rowland goes over the middle. Short yardage on the play. May have moved to the 47-yard line.
And the tackle there is by Ted Hendricks, a 6'7", 220-pound linebacker there who got through. They have 3 men up front and 4 men backing them up. The Bears have seen this before. It's very common in some parts of this league, particularly in the American Football Conference, not so well in the National Football Conference. What's unusual is that the Oakland will be facing a 4-man line, which they're not accustomed to.
All right, Harper the front man, Payton the deep man in the I formation. Slot formation right for the Bears on this one. Here's Avellini looking for a receiver. He throws and is caught at the 45-yard line by Jimmy Scott. Had to go high in the air, a sideline pass, came down with it inbounds, went out of bounds, and the Bears have themselves about a yard to go for first down now.
All right, Skip Thomas, the cornerback, was afraid to move up too fast there. He had to give the receiver some space there. Otherwise, he'd be very viable for a fake and a long gainer. Now they're going to measure, Jack, to see if the Bears made the first down.
Yes, initially the fella plunged that thing down that yard line marker about a half a yard shy of the end of the chain. However, now they've decided that they're going to measure it, and he made it by an inch. The Bears have a first down in Oakland territory at the Oakland 44-yard line. As Cup pointed out to you, this ball club can be scored against. They've only outscored their opponents by 10 points this year, but they're still 7-1.
Yes, they have a very, very sharp ball club with a great passing attack, of course, with such receivers as Branch and Bilitnikov and Clarence Davis and Dave Casper. You can understand it.
Bashnagel in the slot to the right. Latta the tight left end. The front man Harper, and the deep man is Walter Payton again. And it's to Walter this time, and there's a flag down on this play as Walter bumps real hard into right guard and the left guard, and the left end, Matusek, hit him very hard. Flag down on the play. Offside against Oakland. A break for the Bears. A break for the Bears on the play. Weren't too surprised to see it come out that way, Cup, because the flag went down on the Oakland side of the line of scrimmage, which is a tip-off that the umpire might have caught somebody at it.
Right, Jack, and it's interesting to watch Matusek play there. He's, as you know, he's one of the biggest men in the league at 6'7", 270 pounds, but he's had all kind of personnel problems, and he's been around for 3 or 4 teams already in his brief career. 1st and 5 now at the 39. Here is Walter Payton, finds no hole at all, tries to move away from that mass on the left side, but they got him before he can possibly swing around the left side, which is what his secondary plan B was. That was a good play by Otis Strunk, who came in there to stop Walter Payton. Otis Strunk, you know, the man from Mars College. And Otis Sistrunk, who made that tackle, playing one of the defensive ends there, and a very, very great player, and one of the few veterans playing in that line today. Bashnagel left. Scott moving from right to left. So we have 2 wide receivers, and here's flags down all over the place as this play starts to unfold. The play started to unfold that time, but there was illegal procedure on the part of the Bears. And so there's going to be a walk-off against Chicago. They're going to lose back that 5 yards they won then on the offside wrap. And as a result, that puts the ball back now at the 43-yard line of the Oakland Raiders. It's going to be 2nd down for the Bears now, and just about 9 yards to go for a first down. Reevy Story is the fella who was guilty of a little illegal procedure. His move before the ball was snapped drew the defending man across the line of scrimmage. So we have the pro set now. On the right is Payton, the left Harper. Schubert wide left. Here's a handoff on the trap. It goes to Walter Payton. Nobody there, so he sweeps around the right side, and he gets all the way down to the 35-yard line before being bumped out of bounds on that play. Again, Walter reacting as he saw no hole, made up his own play. It was Phil Villapiano who made that tackle, and as Jack said, Walter had no hole there, and so he does what he always does. He swung wide, and he put up a pretty good substantial gain there before Phil Villapiano brought him down. Now we have a 3rd down situation for the Bears. 3rd down and about 1.5 yards to go for first down. The Bears this year have completed 30% of their attempts on 3rd down.
in that third down efficiency department. Their opponents have been good for 37%. So if the Bears can pick up 2 here, they can help that percentage. Here's Payton, and he makes a head-first dive. Boy, he left his feet. He must have gone 5 feet in the air on that one, right over the left guard position, and I'll guarantee you he got the first down.
Beautiful play by Walter Payton. Number 58 was there. Monty Johnson was there to try to stop him, but much too late for any success. Incidentally, in the New England-Buffalo game, O.J. Simpson has been ejected from the game early in the ball game for some penalty, unsportsmanlike conduct, and as much as he gets about $800,000 a game, that's a pretty costly suspension.
Slot formation left. Scott in the slot now. 1st and 10 for the Bears. They have the ball at the 33 of Oakland. Here's Payton sweeping around the right side, cuts inside the defensive left end. A little yardage on the play, certainly not much, as he's well shy of the 30-yard line.
Little Walter, who doesn't reach very high in the air, was snowed under by Ted Hendricks.
Holding against the Bears, Cup. Holding against the Bears ruled on that play, as it turns out. So we'll find out in a moment just who's guilty of holding. Incidentally, the ends are the ones who are being shuttled again today by Pardee, and now Schubert has gone in to carry in a play from the sidelines.
We have some scores here, Jack. Miami is leading the New York Jets 7-0 in the second quarter. Philadelphia is 7, St. Louis nothing in the second quarter. And New England has 6, Buffalo nothing in the game in which O.J. Simpson has been ejected.
Jeff Seavey's the fellow who's charged with the holding penalty down there, and as a result of the 10-yard walk-off, of course, against the Bears, that means they have 1st and 20 to go now at the 43-yard line of the Oakland Raiders. No score in the football game, 10:29 to go in the first quarter. In the pro set, Harper right, Payton left, Schubert wide left, Scott wide right. Here's the snap, and the ball goes to Harper. Not too much of a hole, and Rowland has to just about make his own yardage on that one without a lot of help, and he moves the ball to the 40-yard line.
Ted Hendricks was there once again, playing a very good game there, along with Monty Johnson, the 2 linebackers. Now the Oakland defense is very interesting. If you're looking at it from above here, it looks like a 7-man line because the 4 linebackers up are practically in the line, just a step behind. They have 3 men up front, 4 linebackers who are just a step or so behind the original line.
2nd and 17. The ball at the 40. Once again, Avellini fakes the handoff, looks for a receiver, throws, and it is caught down there by Scott at the 15. He whirls inside the 10, and he's down to the 5-yard line. Jimmy Scott doing a beautiful leaping job of grabbing that pass by Avellini, has just caught his 13th pass of the year. 32 yards to the Bears on that one.
Jack, that looked like a busted pattern because Scott and Lotta were practically together, and for a moment it looked like he overthrew Lotta, but there was Scott right behind him. Ordinarily, you don't find 2 receivers right as close to each other as they were, so somebody ran the wrong pattern. But despite the wrong pattern, a completion of the pass, and the Bears have a 1st down, 8 to go for a TD.
1st and goal to go. The ball inside the 8 at about the 7.5-yard line. So let's see if they can punch on in here. Avellini quarterbacking under Neal. Here's the snap. The handoff goes to Harper. Off left guard. Burrows his way for 2 to the 5-yard line. Lots of players in on this tackle.
That was the whole right side of the Oakland line that got in on that play. Otis Sistrunk was there, and Dave Rowe, the middle linebacker. They were all right there. It wasn't much of a blocking offense by the Bears that time. They hard to move them. But they did pick up 3 precious yards, and that's very important when you're that close to the goal line where yards come very, very difficult.
Bashnagel and Scott are both left. Scott is in a slot, and Bryant is a flanker on this play. 2nd down, goal to go, almost at the 5-yard line. The snap, the handoff goes to Payton, sweeps the right side. He's circling. He is in there. It's a touchdown. The Bears have drawn first blood as Walter Payton scores again. Walter Payton coming up with a beautiful, beautiful performance. And as a result, he has just rushed for his 9th touchdown of the year.
I give Reeve Sorry credit for a beautiful block. He took out number 49 He took out the one of George Atkinson, that was, number 43, with a beautiful block by Reeve. Cleared the path for the TD, and once again, a great block by that offensive line that has made Walter Payton a touchdown runner again. So the Bears have a 6-0 lead behind that beautiful run by Walter Payton, and now for the extra point.
All right, Thomas boots it. It is Good with 8:21 to go in the quarter as Thomas comes up with his 14th out of 16 this year. The Bears 7, Oakland nothing. Back with the kickoff in just a minute.
What makes Harriman's Old Style unique among beers and gives it that great light flavor? Well, our unique brewing process has a lot to do with it. We start with crystal clear water. Only sparkling, pure spring water is good enough for Old Style. Water that flows cold and clear from deep beneath the ground. Some folks say all the way from Canada. We use this water in a traditional old world, pure brewing, double brewing process called krausening. Krausening is the most natural way to brew beer and the most expensive. And it's what gives Old Style its great light flavor. Try Old Style, pure brewed in God's country. G. Harriman Brewing Company, La Crosse, Wisconsin.
Well, it took the Bears 5 minutes and 30 seconds and 55 yards on the march, as I recall, Cup. And now they're all teed up and ready to go once more as the Bears kick off for the second time in this game. The Bears are out in front 7-0, 8:21 to go in the first quarter. There's the boot. It's angling over to the left side, and it goes out of bounds on about the 1 or 2 yard line. So Rick Jennings had no chance at all. And that means, of course, it'll be kicked over again now from the 30-yard line. Now we have ourselves a little bit of a discussion out here at the 45-yard line. Ooh, Adam Lee and Hubie Ginn of the Oakland Raiders want a little of each other. They were one-on-one at the 45-yard line, and the official steps in between them on this one, Bill Stanley, the field judge. And so cooler heads have prevailed, and Ginn, who's on the specialty team, is over on the sidelines right now. He's upset with the whole thing. Hubie Ginn, by the way, is a 7-year veteran from Florida A&M. That's the school that produced a lot of great athletes, including, of course, one of the all-time Bears, Mr. Willie Gallimore.
And, Jack, this game might get a little bit rough. There is a penalty now on the Bears. There is a penalty against the Chicago Bears on that last fracas that Jack has described, unnecessary roughness against the Bears. And you can expect some of that today because these teams are both very tense, and they come in with two of the hardest-hitting safety men in football, Doug Plank and Craig Clemens of the Bears, and George Atkinson and Jack Tatum of the Raiders. And they both are feisty and very hard hitters, and that often leads to confrontations, Jack.
Yes, it does. And, of course, I got a kick out of Don Pearson's story in the Tribune today describing that defensive backfield of the Oakland Raiders. He said that Clarence Davis, I'm sorry, but in the defensive backfield of the Oakland Raiders, Skip Thomas is known as Dr. Death, and he's the nice guy. So now they're going to have to kick off from way back on the 20-yard line. Thomas couldn't believe it. He started to put his tee on the 25. He can't believe they started back that far. But as a result of the 15-yard walk-off, and I guess this is the one that overshadows the out-of-bounds, of course, 5-yard wrap, that puts the ball back on the 20-yard line. That means then that the two deep men are going to be standing up almost at about the 17 or 18-yard line. Jennings on one side and Carl Garrett on the other. This means, of course, that the Oakland Raiders figure to have excellent field position after the kickoff. The Bears ahead 7-0. So Thomas has the ball teed up, and here we go. The upraised arm, the whistle, the advance, the boot. It carries very well. It's a real good kick. It's all the way back to the 13-yard line. Garrett's at the 20 with it, the 25, 30, and he is nailed at the 34-yard line. A beautiful, almost flying tackle by Livers, who left his feet along with Adam Lee.
Livers is not very big, but he's one of those tough little kids who loves to play football, and he was right down there in the suicide squad to make that tackle. The best description of Livers came from Jim Finks one week when Livers was pretty badly hurt. He had every reason to sit out the rest of the game, but he insisted on going back, and Jim Finks says that's the kind of football players he wants on this team.
All things considered, that's not the greatest field position, 34-yard line. Here's Stabler dropping back. He throws over the middle, and he catches his tight end on this one. No, he catches Garrett on this one. He catches Carl Garrett on this one. I beg your pardon, it's Mark Van Egan. Mark Van Egan, number 30, Garrett's number 31. The pass was good for 21 yards. And Mark Van Egan, by the way, is one of the better runners that they have on this Oakland ball club, which doesn't exactly specialize in running plays. And I might also point out that Van Egan's caught a few passes. That's his 13th pass catch of the year. Now, it isn't that they got enough passes with him. They got to think about Casper, Branch, and Biletnikoff. Casper, the number one receiver, has caught 42 already. Here's a handoff now, and sweeping around the left side on this play is Clarence Davis. He is met as he gets to about the Chicago Bear 42-yard line, forced out of bounds.
And he was met by both Osborne and Craig Clemens, who had sidled off and slid over to the right side of the line. The right end of the Bears was taken out of the play very successfully, but the tackle, Osborne, and Craig Clemens, the safety man, came up fast to make the tackle.
Out of the huddle they come. Biletnikoff is wide to the right on this play. Dave Casper, the tight left end. Here's the snap, and the handoff goes this time to Van Egan again, and off the right tackle position he goes, and they move the ball now to good field position to the Bear 35.
And the guy who made the tackle on that play was Don Reeves, the middle linebacker, who plugged the hole a little bit late, but he made the tackle.
Going to be third down, less than the length of a football to go for a first down, and Hicks has come in now for the Bears. He will relieve Plank because they want a little beef in there, anticipating some blast blocking on a short yardage play. Biletnikoff off, Branch is off. They've got a couple of tight ends in there as they try to get themselves 6 inches for a first down. Here's the handoff, and it's not going to be good because the ball was handed to Pete Vanacek, and it just didn't work. The 11-year vet from Miami got a little late start on the handoff, and he was down back of the line of scrimmage.
And the man they just sent in, Tom Hicks, was responsible for that play. He did a beautiful job. He and Wayman Bryant did a great play in stopping a third down one situation, and now they're going to force the Oakland Raiders to go into either a punt or a field goal. Can you see who's out there?
Well, Ray Guy has come in, and of course, Ray is the number 2 field goal man. Actually, they've signed Errol Mann. Errol, of course, is the fellow who just joined the ball club this last week. But Ray Guy is back to boot on 4th and 1 with the line of scrimmage, the Bear 36-yard line. And it is a punt. It's high, carries very well. Look at this. A fair catch is going to be indicated, and the ball is caught by an Oakland Raider on the fly on the 1-yard line. It was Phillips. What a catch. What a beautiful catch indeed by Phillips. Charlie Phillips, the defensive back in there on the specialty team, and the Bears are really hung up there now.
That's an unusual play where the man goes down the field to cover the punt, and he catches the ball. Now, that could be ruled as interference with the right to make a fair catch. I don't know how the officials are going to call this one, but it's a very unusual play for a member of the kicking team to catch that punt on the fly.
Well, the indication was by the deep man for the Bears that he wanted a fair catch, and then I think he stepped aside, Cup, and that's probably what wiped out the fair catch sign. So as a result, the Bears have the ball, 1st and 10 on their 1.5-yard line. Wow, even the quarterback Avellini is in the end zone as they line up. His feet are back of the line. Here's the handoff to Walter Payton, and Walter squirts through off left tackle on a good slant play. Gets out there for a few yards, I'd say about 5 or 6. Past the 5 up to the 7.
And the tackle there was made by George Atkinson, who's one of their better defensive men, and he came up fast from the position that he's playing, the linebacker, to make the tackle there. He's not a linebacker, I should say. He's a cornerback there, and a very, very able one.
WGN Radio Chicago, 1st and sound, 1st and service, 1st in sports. The Bears 7, the Raiders nothing. The Raiders from Oakland, 4:55 to go in the quarter on a sunshiny, crisp, good fall afternoon. Adamley, the front man in the I formation. But it's Walter Payton who gets the ball again, and off left tackle he goes, and very short yardage on this play as they gang upon him pretty good, leaving him a good 4 yards shy of first down.
The play was stopped at the line of scrimmage there, but the more interesting play was the block that Adamley, leading the interference, put on Jack Tatum. He really clobbered him, the old Northwestern versus Ohio State rivalry there, and he knocked Tatum right back a few yards, but the ball carrier already had been stopped at the line of scrimmage.
It takes a little doing to handle Tatum. He's quite a veteran. He's got 18 interceptions in his career, which makes him tied for 4th on the all-time Oakland list. Here's the handoff. It goes to Payton, sweeps the right side. Sorey tries to block for him. He is shy of the first down and shy of the 10-yard line, as a matter of fact. Put the ball at about the 9.5-yard line. And that means now that the Chicago Bears are going to have to give up that football, punting from deep in their own territory. In the boot, of course, will be Parsons, who had a great week last week kicking against Minnesota. It's going to be 4th and 2.
Give the credit for that tackle to Willie Hall, one of the linebackers, one of the 4 linebackers. Willie Hall plays one of the inside linebackers. Monty Johnson plays an inside linebacker. Bill Villapano is a left linebacker. And the great Ted Hendricks is the right linebacker.
The kick will come from right about the goal line. Here's the boot by Parsons. He kicks a good one, and Neil Colsey backing up for it, has to take it on the fly at the 48-yard line. He's across midfield, back to 45, and inside the 40, and falls down with the ball and loses the football, but I believe the play was dead. Almost getting to him on that one for the Chicago Bears. Larry Schreiber went after that ball pretty good. There's a flag down on the play. Might be clipping. Might be a clipping rap against the Oakland Raiders. It is clipping.
Against the Oakland Raiders, right.
And Herb McMath is the fellow who's the guilty man. And Neil Colsey, the number 3 punt return man in the American Football Conference with an average of 12.3, has just had a pretty good return wiped out. Consequently, that puts the ball back in Oakland territory at the Oakland 42-yard line. The Bears 7, the Oakland Raiders nothing. 3:20 to go in the first quarter. The Bears on the defense here in this first quarter. The Bears controlled the ball beautifully the first time they got it and didn't give the ball up until they had scored on Peyton's very fine run around the right side. We have a timeout now. Back with more action in just 1 minute.
Say, Harry, I hear your oldest just started college. What's she majoring in? Spending money.
Come on in, come on in, come on in to HFC.
College can bring a lot of unexpected expenses. And when it does, come on into Household Finance. We'll do everything we can to lend you the extra money you need. HFC, an equal opportunity lender.
Come on in, come on in, come on in to HFC. You can use our money to get where you want to be. So come on in, come on in, come on in to HFC.
Household Finance, where people use our money to get the most out of life.
Come on in to HFC.
For a large or small loan, phone or visit Household Finance. 65 offices in the Chicago area, offices in all major cities in Illinois, Indiana, Michigan, and Wisconsin.
And we have some scores here, Jack. New Orleans, apparently with Bobby Douglas at quarterback, is leading Green Bay 13-0 in the second quarter. Cleveland is leading Houston 5-0. New England 6, Buffalo 0 in the second quarter. Philadelphia still leading St. Louis 7-0 at halftime. And Miami 17, the New York Jets 0 at halftime. And here, of course, the score, Bears 7, Oakland Raiders 0, and we're back in action.
Good field position now for the Raiders. They have the ball 1st and 10 on their own 42-yard line. The Bears lead 7-0. Here's the trap play, and over the middle on this one. And with a big hole crossing midfield and down to the 45, the 35 is Clarence Davis, and he is finally brought down out of bounds on the Bear 27-yard line. A tremendous opening as he sprints for 31 yards on a quick opener. It was actually a kind of a delay, or what you call a fullback late, but the hole was there when he was there.
Wide open. They cleaned out the whole left side of the Bear line, and Doug Plank, as a safety man, had to race clear across the field to make the tackle and drive the man out of bounds. So it's a first down 10 on the Bear 27.
All right, Boletnikov wide to the right. Split out here to the left on this play now is Cliff Branch. Here's the snap. Once again, it's a running play, and wow, boy, I'm going to tell you something. Mr. Mark Van Egan really got clobbered on that play. He will never be hit harder than he was by a couple of Bears, including, I think, your old pal Rideouts.
That's right, and Chambers and Rideouts both were on top of him.
No gain on the play, second down 10. Bears on the defense. You have Hartenstein, Osborne, Rideouts, and Wally Chambers from left to right. Wayman Bryan, the right linebacker. Rubacher on the left. Reeves, the middle linebacker. And, of course, the usual safety men, Clemens, Plank. There is a handoff to Davis. He sweeps the right side, and he's learning now that it's tough to run against the Bears when you get in Bear territory. He's down as he tries to turn the corner going around the right side.
A very good play on that particular performance there by the Bears, number 57, Don Reeves, the middle linebacker. Incidentally, Chambers has shifted to right end on the last couple of plays. And now Roger Stillwell is coming in to replace Rydell, so that means Chambers will go back to tackle. the Bears like to change that around a bit because when Chambers is playing tackle, the Oakland Raiders double team him.
Well,
When
let's
he switches
toss
to
to
end,
the right.
that causes some problems.
And here's Stabler looking for a receiver. He just does get that pass away, and it is incomplete in the end zone. The target on the play was Dave Casper, the tight end, who is the number one pass catcher in the American Football Conference with 42. Managed to outsprint most everybody into the end zone, but actually Stabler's pass looked a little hurried on that.
Hurried, but a little too close for comfort, Jack. He had a step on Doug Flank, and had the ball been thrown right, had he not been under such pressure, that could have been an easy touchdown for the Oakland Raiders.
We're going to get a field goal try now by Arrow Man. Man will be booting from the 33-yard line. Here's a fella who's really been able to pile up the points, especially with the 20. It's blocked by the Bears. It's blocked. I think maybe Bill Knox got in there. And the Bears are going to own themselves a football. They're going to own it at their 31-yard line. What a play by the Bears. They blocked that one, and it was Knox. It was Bill Knox of the Bears on what looked like a setup play where they try to clear everybody out to make room for Knox to make his progress like they do with Nate Allen up in Minnesota.
Actually, that's exactly how it happened, where they cleared a path for Knox to run right through. And it was a surprise that they used Arrow Man because that's a 43-yard field goal, and everybody knows he doesn't have that leg anymore.
We'll be back with more action in just a minute.
Presenting Chicagoland with solid cars, the Chicagoland Solid Men of Olds in 1941 introduced a new solid car for the luxury car buyer, the Olds 98. Today, the Chicagoland Solid Men of Olds proudly invite you to test drive the latest in this particular series of solid cars, solid service, and solid deals. The 1977 Olds 98. Solid.
To fully appreciate the solid new 98, you ought to get behind the wheel and drive one. See your Chicagoland Solid Men of Olds this week, and you can do just that. Incidentally, we're flattered, of course, that a number of fans carry transistor radios to pick up our broadcast here at Soldier Field while they're watching the game, but we hope you'll control the volume properly in consideration to the folks around you and to all concerned. Bears ball, 1st and 10 on their 30. They're ahead 7-0, 1:51 to go in the first quarter. Here's a handoff. It goes to Harper Rowland, trying the left side on a right angle cutback. Just does get across the line of scrimmage a little bit on that one.
Give credit to Otto Sistrunk for stopping that play. Otis Sistrunk for stopping that play. He got through very quickly and put his arms around Harper in the backfield, which broke up the whole tempo and momentum of the play, and consequently he was an easy mark for the line there. So it's now a second down and 9 for the Chicago Bears. Incidentally, that front line of the Oakland Raiders, 6'7", Matusik, 6'7", Dave Rowe, 6'4", Otis Sistrunk. My God.
Slot formation. And here's an end around, the handoff to Scott. He sweeps the right side. The play is not going to work for very much, however, because it looked to me like Atkinson kind of smelled that one coming, Cop.
Everybody was fooled except Atkinson, and he stayed out there, covered his territory like a good safety man should, and moved up to the line of scrimmage to spoil the play.
Well, the Bears made about 3 or 4 on the play. They've now advanced the ball up just shy of the 35-yard line. And now we have one of those third down efficiency situations. Here's a first quarter score that's kind of interesting. Cleveland 5, Houston nothing. Pastorini's out, by the way, out of that Houston game. He's got bruised ribs. He's their number 1 quarterback. Front man in the I formation for the Bears now is Harper. Walter Payton right behind him. Here's the snap. Avellini back. He's got a rush on. He's sacked. He was really nailed. Charging in there was that big linebacker, that number 83 Hendricks.
Ted Hendricks is having a whale of a day against the Chicago Bears today, and somehow nobody laid a hand on Ted. Nobody blocked him at all, and he had a clear shot from the blind side at Avellini, and he really hit Avellini a very tough shot there, and he's down on the ground right now. He may be only the wind knocked out of him, as happens when you hit from the blind side that way and hit you right at the rib cage. Let's hope it's nothing more serious than that. He's still down with the trainers working over him. We were talking about the size of that Oakland front line. Matusik is 6'7", and David Rowe is 6'7", and Otis Sistrunk is 6'4", and they have a young rookie named Charles Filial, who is 6'9", 270 pounds, and he fills in there as one of the first relief men. So you can see the tremendous size that the Oakland Raiders have.
Well, you know, Avellini's up on his feet now and walking off the field with Doc Fox. I might point out, Cup, that last week these guys sacked the quarterback at Denver 10 times, so quarterback sacks are nothing new to this Raiders ball club. They are specialists in it.
That's right, as are the Chicago Bears, so we have two teams that have had tremendous success in sacking quarterbacks.
4th down now. Bob Parsons will punt. The kick should come from right near the 15-yard line, and dropping back, of course, as he usually does, is Neil Colsey, the number 3 punt return man of the conference. High, very short, no bargain, end over end. Hangs up there a long time, and Colsey hangs onto it at the 41-yard line. He is nailed really hard by the Chicago Bears. Gary Fensick coming down. It's only a 35-yard kick from scrimmage. No return, of course, and so with 5 seconds to go in the first quarter, and the Bears ahead 7-0. It's 1st and 10 Oakland. Kenny Stabler trying to get his offense untracked here in the first quarter, but the Bears' very, very spirited, aggressive defense has prevented it. The timing has been just a little bit off, with Oakland running more plays than they normally figure to against this ball club. That may be trying to set them up for more passes later on. Anyway, here's Stabler back, looks for a receiver, throws, and he hits his man, his Branch out here at the 48, and Cliff is forced out of bounds near midfield. Cliff Branch, the wide receiver, who for the Oakland Ball Club is the number 14 receiver in the American Football Conference, has just caught his 27th pass of the year. That expires the time in the first quarter. The score, the Bears 7, the Raiders nothing.
You know, when the energy crunch first hit and the speed limit went down to 55, I didn't think too much of the idea. Sure, I'd heard all about how much gas and how many thousands of lives could be saved by slowing down. And things haven't changed much since then. The 55-mile-an-hour speed limit is still with us. And in the meantime, I found out one thing for sure. If you drive over 55, sooner or later you're going to start getting tickets and paying fines. And these days, throwing money away on speeding tickets isn't something too many people can afford to do. What it all comes down to is this. The 55-mile-an-hour speed limit isn't just a good idea. It's the law.
And we have some scores here now at halftime. Miami 17, New York Jets nothing. Halftime. Philadelphia still leading St. Louis 7-0, which could be a major upset. New Orleans is leading Green Bay 13-0 in the second quarter. And as we told you, Cleveland is in a pitching duel with Houston. 5-0 is the score in that ball game. And here, of course, the Bears are leading the Oakland Raiders 7-0. It's the Oakland ball, second down and 2 to go on their own 49.
All right. That last pass catch by Branch was good for 8 yards. Big pile up now in the middle on this handoff as Mark Van Egan tries the center. And it looks like he did get enough yardage on the play to make the first down.
Yeah, Chambers and Reeves are right there, but not enough to stop the 2 yards they needed for the first down. You'll see Oakland complete a lot of those short passes for this reason. The Bears are very wary of their long passing attack. They have speedsters there who are very difficult to cover. And so they may be giving a lot of those short passes purposely in order to protect against the long.
Here's Stabler back. Again, it's a sideline pass to Branch out there, and as he tries to cut, he slips and falls. The play was dead at the 41-yard line as the ball slipped out of his hand, and the Bears are a little bit unhappy, I think, with that call by the line judge, or rather the line judge, Al Sabato. I think they are thinking that maybe he quick whistled that one, that the Bears should have a fumble recovery to their credit. But, of course, you can't blame them for wanting to think it was theirs. Anyway, it's second down now, 3 yards to go for a first down as Stabler starts to pick apart the cornerbacks and the Bears and the sideline defense. Here's a handoff, and this time it's Van Egan over the middle. Looks like first down yardage as Mark plows straight ahead with a good hole opened up by Dalby, Upshaw, and Beeler in the middle of that line.
They moved Radoch and Osborne a little bit on that play, and consequently he picked up some yardage there. Van Egan is a very interesting member of this ball club. He comes from Colgate. I think Jack is probably the only member of Colgate in professional football. And he certainly is a crackerjack ball carrier.
1st and 10. We're in the second quarter. Bears ahead 7-0. Here's Stabler dropping back. The pride of Alabama, and he hits his man this time. He hits Clarence Davis straight over the middle, just inside the 30-yard line.
Dan Reeves made the tackle, Jack, but once again, we're giving him those short passes to protect against the big. Reeves had dropped back quite a bit and had to come up fast to make that tackle because the ball was caught right in front of him.
Well, they've got 3 of the best pass catchers in all of football, in Casper, Branch, and Biletnikoff, and yet now we find that Davis and Van Egan are pretty good targets for Mr. Stabler as well. 12:50 to go in the second quarter. 2nd down 2. Here's the handoff, and look at this guy, Van Egan, go through on this one. A big hole on the left side. They really did a beautiful job of moving not only the left side, but also the safety man, Clemens, on the play.
That's right. Craig had to come up very fast there to make that tackle, and fortunately he was there along with Doug Plank to make the tackle there.
An 11-yard burst, and that gives the Oakland Raiders a beautiful scoring opportunity now, the best one they've had. 1st and 10 to go. They have the ball on the Bears' 16-yard line. 1st and 10. Wide to the left is Branch. Split away to the right now is Biletnikoff. And back goes Stabler. He's looking both ways, throws up the middle, and it's caught. It is a touchdown as it's caught by Dave Casper right there at the goal line. In he goes, and Casper has just caught his 6th touchdown pass of the year. The number 1 pass receiver, the great tight end from Notre Dame, and Dave Casper really did his job on that one. He reached up high, and of course, Stabler is just absolutely uncannily accurate throwing up the middle.
There is no more accurate passer than Stabler in the league, as been indicated by his percentage. He's completed a startling 67% of his passes so far this season.
So Ginn will hold, and Mann will kick. The kick is up. It is perfect. And with 12:11 to go in the second quarter, we're all tied up. Bears 7, Raiders 7. Back with the kickoff in just a minute.
Here in God's country, in Wisconsin, where we brew Heileman's Old Style, the sparkling, pure water flows from deep underground springs, some folks say all the way from Canada. We use this crystal clear water in a traditional, old-world, pure brewing, double brewing process called poisoning. When you brew a beer once, you've got a good beer. But when you brew a beer twice, you've got a great, light beer. Poisoning is the most natural way to brew beer, and the most expensive. Maybe that's why today, Old Style is one American premium beer that is still fully poisoned. Try Old Style. Pure brewed in God's country. G. Heileman Brewing Company, La Crosse, Wisconsin.
Well, Guy will kick off, and deep for the Bears as they anticipate their first reception of a kickoff today will be Bashnagel in the center, flanked on the left by Musso, on the right by Adamley. The ball teed up, of course, on the 35. He's got the wind with him on the kick. We're in the second quarter. We're tied up 7-7. 12:11 to go in the first half as Ray Guy advances on the ball. The boot is up. It carries very, very well. It's going to be taken about 5 yards in the end zone by Bashnagel, who drops the ball and decides he better fall on it. So, it's a touchback. It'll be brought out to the 20-yard line, and Brian Bashnagel, who's seen a few of those kickoffs and run back a few in college for Woody Hayes, who this guy played in 4 Rose Bowl games at Ohio State, decides with his good judgment that he better just down that one in the end zone.
He's a natural leader, Jack. In fact, he's one of the Bear co-captains. I think it's the first time a rookie has been a co-captain. Certainly the only rookie playing today who was a co-captain of the ball club, which shows the leadership qualities that Brian has.
All right, Avellini's okay. He's quarterbacking the ball club. 1st and 10, Bears on their 20-yard line. 7-7 football game in the second quarter. Wide to the right is Scott. The handoff to Walter Payton. Sweeps the left side, and he's trying to move inside Hendricks. He just cannot do it. Ted was fighting off Dennis Lick pretty good on that one.
Hendry came all the way across from his position and joined by Monty Johnson, the other one of the 4 linebackers, to make that tackle. The Bears were unable to move the Oakland defense at that time. As we pointed out earlier, Oakland plays a very peculiar defense. They have 3 men in the front line. They have 4 linebackers. That gives really a total of 7 men on the line of scrimmage because the linebackers are just a foot away from the up front men.
Dennis Lick in there for Antoine, who has a questionable knee, has a big job. His job's name is Sistrunk. He's tough. Second down, 10. The ball still at the 20, and somebody started across the line a little early on that one. I wonder if perhaps Mr. Lick was guilty of a little illegal procedure on that one. It looks like it was, Dennis, and so it will be now second down and 15 for the Bears with the ball back on their 15-yard line. Okay, Bashnagel, who was on the sidelines for one play, comes back in as Pardee shuttles Bashnagel and Schubert this afternoon again. Scott is in the slot to the left on this play. Greg Ladd of the tight right end. Front man in the I formation, Harper right behind him, Payton, and here's Walter, and over the middle he goes, head down, he tries to burrow for a few, and that's all he gets, is just a few. He's well shy of the 20-yard line.
Couldn't move Otis Sistrunk once again. The big giant of a defensive man was right there, unable to be shoved aside by the Bear blockers, and so he was responsible for stopping Harper on that play. That makes it 3rd and 12 for the Bears on their own 18-yard line. Not a very precarious position.
Well, they've held Walter Payton to 27 yards and 10 carries so far in this game. 3rd down now, 12 yards to go for the Bears. And here is Avellini on a keeper. He's up to the 20, 25, 30, and he gets all the way up to the 34-yard line. There's a flag down at the 30-yard line, but Avellini on a keeper, if the play holds up, got himself a first down. Well, there was a real neat surprise by the Bears. Avellini is not regarded as the world's speediest runner anyway.
And an unnecessary roughness penalty on Cozy of the Oakland Raiders, Jack, is going to give the Bears a few more yards on that surprise play. Avellini is not known for his speed. That certainly was a surprise.
All right. 15 yards plus the walk-off. And so the Bears have got that ball all the way up there now on their own 48-yard line. Well, how about that?
A great call by the Bear bench. They suspected that the right side of the Oakland line would be slashing on that particular play to stop a possible pass, and so they ran around it.
So now they're out there where they can breathe, and one good play puts them in Oakland territory. Pro set formation. And the ball goes to Harper. And Rowland goes over the middle. Big pile up. Hardly any yardage on this play.
Everybody in the middle of the line was right there, including Mr. Sistrunk once again. And he was fortified there by Dave Rowe, another one of the linebackers, and the Bears just could not move them. That 7-man line, we can almost call it a 7-man line because the way they play that 3-4 defense, and the Bears were unable to move anybody.
They're playing 4 linebackers on the ball club. Incidentally, they're being coached by our old pal Don Shinnick, who used to be, of course, with the Bears, and it was an outstanding linebacker at Baltimore. Second down 1, Avellini back. He's got protection this time, throws over the middle, and it was almost intercepted by Willie Hall.
That was much too close for comfort, Jack. He didn't loft that ball at all over the height of the onrushing lineman there. He almost threw a line drive, and of course the linemen are just too big for that. They just batted it down very easily.
There wasn't a bear anywhere near that one. I wonder if that wasn't a real mix-up in the Signals Cup, because there just didn't appear to be any bear. I wonder if maybe Latta was the target, because generally on a play like that, the tight end is the target. Anyway, it's going to be now 3rd down, 9 yards to go for the first down. 3rd down, 9 on the 3rd down efficiency chart now for the Bears. Let's see what happens. Here's a trap play. The ball goes to Harper. It doesn't work at all. Not at all. Your old pal, number 60 in there, Mr. Sistrunk.
Ran right into Otis Sistrunk, who didn't have to move a step. He just stood his ground there, and of course he's much too big to be bowled over, so the Bear 3rd down situation just failed. So it's 4th down punting situation, 10 yards to go on their own 48-yard line.
Dropping back here now will be Colsey, and in case it's a short punt, they also have Garrett up there, and he'll begin. Parsons' kick should come from right around the 38, 39-yard line. Bears and the Raiders are tied 7-7. There's the boot. It's high, short. The wind's got it. Fair catch called for at the 25-yard line and pulled off by the deep man, Neil Colsey. That means a 27-yard kick from scrimmage for the Chicago Bears. And that gives Oakland the ball. 1st and 10 to go on their own 26-yard line. The clock shows 9:14 to go in the half in this tied-up game. Back with more action in just a minute.
Let's throw a big New Year's Eve party in the family room. We'll invite...
Fellas, we don't have a family room.
We could by then.
Come on in. Come on in. Come on in to HFC.
When extra money's keeping you from getting something you really want, apply for an HFC loan of up to $10,000. You could be enjoying what you want right away. HFC, an equal opportunity lender.
Come on in. Come on in. Come on in to HFC. You can use our money to get where you want to be. So come on in. Come on in. Come on in to HFC.
Household Finance, where people use our money to get the most out of life.
Come on in to HFC.
I never used it. At Household Finance Corporation, you may borrow up to $10,000 on a wide variety of repayment plans. HFC has 65 offices in the Chicago area. See your phone book. Cup?
Jack, it's interesting that the last time we saw Mr. Stabler play was in 1972 in Oakland, where he helped beat the Bears, and that was the first time he played regularly. You know, he started the second half, completed 10 out of 11 passes against the Bears, and from that date on, he became the #1 Oakland Raider quarterback.
That's right. He came in for Darryl LaMonica in that ball game. Here's the pitch out now. Goes to Van Egan, sweeps the left side, and a good block sweeps him. However, there's a fumble on the play, and the Bears have recovered at the 33. It looks like Wayman Bryant has recovered another fumble. Van Egan went around the left side. Looked like he was going to make some pretty good yardage on the play, and as he was nailed, he also lost the ball. And so, Bryant has come up with his second fumble recovery of the year.
And give credit to Roger Stillwell for
Are
the
they?
man who made a hard tackle on that play.
All right, Bears ball. They have it on the 32-yard line now of the Oakland Raiders, and here's Avellini looking for a trap and getting Donahue on the far side. He throws a pass which is considered incomplete to Harper. For a minute, it looked like Roland had hung on to that football. Second down 10 now. Second down 10, the ball at the 32-yard line. Score, Bears 7, Raiders 7. A little over 9 minutes to go in the second quarter. Jack Brickhouse along with Irv Kupcinet, our WGN Sports Editor Jack Rosenberg with us. Arnie Harris, our stat man. And here we go now as Avellini brings his ball up to the line. Here's a trap play, the ball going to Walter, and he is in trouble. He was really nailed back of the line of scrimmage as Big John Matusek just refused to be moved around.
Yeah, Matusek played that very smartly. He didn't come across the line too fast. He kind of took his ground. He waited his ground to see how the play developed. Against Peyton, the teams are learning to protect their ends because if he's stopped in the middle, he's so brilliant and so fast that he finds a new hole for himself, usually around the end. So the ends are kind of holding their ground against him to see what happens and to protect themselves.
Walter's not 100%. He's still limping a little bit now as he takes his pro set position on the left side. Here's the snap, Avellini back. Here's the pass, and it is caught by Bashnagel at the 25, and he's caught from behind at the 20. Good catch by Brian Bashnagel. Incidentally, credit Walter Payton with a fine block on the guy who nailed him the last time, Matusek. He really blocked him beautifully. 17 yards to the Bears on that one.
Beautiful play by Walter there to protect Avellini. Now, he's small, as you know, but that doesn't mean he can't block. He's a vicious blocker, as is Clarence Davis of the Oakland Raiders. These two men, both great ball carriers, are splendid blockers to boot. All right, Jack, here we go.
All right, I want to correct it. It was not Matusek, but instead I believe it was Hendricks he blocked, but he did get that block away. Here's Walter going around the right side, inside the 20 and down very close to the 15-yard line on the first carry in this fresh set of downs for the Bears. Jackson, of course, trying very hard to block for his pal.
Monty Jackson, the defensive linebacker there, came up to make that tackle, which leaves it a second down and 7 for the Bears, and they're deep in the Oakland territory on the 17-yard line.
Okay, Bears ball inside the 17. We'll call it the 16.5-yard line. Second down, just about 6.5 yards to go for the first down. Scott wide to the right, Latta strong side right. Bashnagel split away to the left. Harper and Payton in the backfield. Avellini gets the ball. The handoff goes to Harper, and pow! He is nailed. Wow, was he nailed on that one.
Nobody put a hand on Big John Matuszek that time, and he's the man who came through to make the tackle. He just slid right past the guy who was supposed to tackle, who was supposed to block him, and was in the backfield as fast as Harper got the ball. So, becomes a 3rd down 9 for the Bears, Jack.
They lost a couple on that play. WGN Radio Chicago, first in sound, first in service, first in sports. Ginn is in, and also defensively coming in is Charlie Phillips, is the defensive back for the Oakland Raiders, anticipating a pass play now. Scott wide to the right. Schubert in a slot to the right. Latta tight left end on the play. The ball is at the 19-yard line. Here's the snap, and here's Avellini. The rush is on. Look out, Bob. He finally gets rid of the football, and it is incomplete. Well, both Scott and Schubert were battling for the ball, but neither could get to it at the 7-yard line.
Scott, unfortunately, was off balance, and the ball hit him in the arms and bounced right out, but there is a flag.
Looks like holding against the Bears on this one.
The Bears, so... Two tough decisions there. Scott couldn't hold on to the ball. He was off balance when the ball hit him in the hands, and he just was in no position to grab it, and then the holding penalty. So the Bears' scoring opportunity is taking a very dim view at this point because we're being forced almost out of field goal range. Let's see, Jack.
Well, let's see is right because right now it's being discussed by the officials and by the Oakland Raiders, and the holding penalty against the Bears has put the ball back now on the 29-yard line. But, of course, Dennis Lick is the fella who is regarded as the holder on that one. They just announced it, and that puts the ball back on the 29-yard line. But, of course, the Bears do not use up the down, so it's 3rd down. Scott in a slot to the left, Bashnagel wide to the left. Here's the snap, Avellini back. He has time, he throws, and it is incomplete at the 10-yard line, over Scott's head and just short of Bashnagel. Over Latta's head at the 15-yard line and shy of Bashnagel, and consequently, the Bears are now going to have to get rid of that football.
And Latta was wide open on that play, Jack, but he overthrew them. There were two men so close together. Somebody is making a mistake on running these patterns because there's no reason for two offensive men to be that close and consequently to draw the defense around them. The ball was thrown over Latta's head and too short for Bashnagel, so it was an incompleted pass, 4th down, 19, and here go the Bears for a punt formation.
6:14 to go in the half, tied 7-7. The Bears and the Oakland Raiders, 4th and 19. The ball is on the 29-yard line, and Parsons boots one as carries high, and he tried to punch short, but not that short, I'm sure, and it takes a bounce for Oakland, and is finally down by Schreiber at the 24-yard line. Are you ready for this? That was a net 4 yards from scrimmage.
He does much better passing the ball, I would say. He's got 2 out of 2 from those fake punt formations. And I had a hunch that maybe the Bears were going to come up with something like that in that time.
Back with more action in just a minute.
Some proud father came back from his solid men of old and described his new car to his son as being solid. But solid is a description that seems to have grown through the years. We just want to remind you that the latest in this continuing series of solid cars, service, and deals awaits your test drive now at your Chicagoland Solid Men of Old. Want to find out what solid really feels like? Come test drive an Olds today at your Chicagoland Solid Men of Old. Solid.
Down their own 25-yard line. We have ourselves 6:05 to go.
All right, here we go, Jack. It's 1st down, 10 to go for the Oakland Raiders on their own 25-yard line as a result of that very short punt by Parsons, who wanted to loft the ball high and keep it in bounds, and unfortunately.
Well, also, don't forget the chance to fully appreciate what a solid new car value the all-new Delta 88 really is. You ought to drive one. All right, here's Stabler. He throws the bomb. It's way down there, and it is caught on the far side by Branch. He's going to go all the way down the sideline. Touchdown for Oakland. 75 yards. And a touchdown for Oakland as Branch comes up with one of those patented plays of his. This guy can really fly. He does 100 at about 9.4, and he just proved it by more or less a deceptive rate of speed down that sidelines, and suddenly he decided to really turn it on and outran the Bears secondary, and that was that. Caught the ball on about the 30-yard line, and down the sidelines he went. It was no contest after that, and so the Raiders have scored their second touchdown of the afternoon.
A great play by Stabler, who had a lot of protection, plenty of time. A great play by Branch, who caught the ball over the head of Doug Plank, who got suckered in there. He was not quite fast enough to keep up with Branch, who really can fly, as we said, and the Bear defense, as we pointed out, has been worried about those long ones. That's why they were kind of giving them short passes.
That was Branch's 8th touchdown of the year, by the way. Flag down as they start to move on the snap for the ball and the extra point kick. And now we have a little bit of a discussion here. Somebody moved across the line a little early. Was he drawn or not? Offside against the Bears. Stabler's completed 6 out of 7 for 146 yards and 2 touchdowns in this game now. Penalty was declined because they're a little used to kicking from where they are. They don't want to have to adjust. Man will boot. Harold Mann. There's the kick. It's up. It is good. And so, the score of the ball game is now Oakland 14, the Bears 7, 5:53 to go in the half.
Well, a 75-yard touchdown bomb, the thing that the Bears have been fearing all week, because Stabler is so successful in the long passes to his very, very speedy receivers like Branch and Davis and Blitnikoff and the great tight end from Notre Dame, Casper. And so a touchdown pass to Casper and a touchdown pass to Branch have resulted in a 14-7 lead for the Oakland Raiders over the Chicago Bears here in the second quarter with 5 minutes and some seconds left to play yet. Now the Oakland Raiders are going to kick off, and the Bears have ample time to get back into this ball game, score a touchdown, and maybe go off the field with a 14-14 tie. Let's hope that that is in the realm of possibility, Jack, as the Oakland Raiders get ready to kick off. Incidentally, Stabler has now completed, I think, 6 out of 7, hasn't he, today? For 2 touchdowns.
Right.
That reminds us, as we pointed out earlier, of his first performance against the Bears when he completed 10 out of 11 and earned the starting position back in 1972 as the regular quarterback for the Oakland Raiders.
Bashnagel, the deep man now, and on the left is Musso, on the right Adamley. They're all deep back there anticipating the kick. That offside against the Bears on the PAT is now going to be used on this very next play, so that means they get to tee the ball up on the 40-yard line. Up to block for the Bears, standing inside the 15 are fellas like Dan Jiggets, and also for the Bears, Jerry Myers, and in the middle between them is Harper, just in case the kick is short and they want somebody up front. They have to carry that ball who's got running experience. The ball is taken by Bashnagel at the 3s, at the 10, 15, 20, still going, and across the 20 to the 25-yard line. Hit and knocked down. Now what?
The two number 54s for the Bears, and the Raiders got tangled there. That's Rick Bonas of the Oakland Raiders. And for the Chicago Bears, it's Tommy Hicks, and both fellows with the same numbers got involved in a little tug and pushing and pulling contest there.
So, the flag is down at the 28-yard line. And it looks like the walk-off is going to be against Oakland. And it's a biggie, so it's an unnecessary roughness penalty probably, putting the ball at the 40-yard line. That's what it is. Personal foul.
Jack, we have a correction on the Green Bay score, which is quite amazing. Instead of what we gave before, 13-0, it now is Green Bay is leading New Orleans 6-3. I don't know how that mistake occurred, but that's what it is now. Green Bay is leading 6-3.
All right, the trap play, and the ball goes to Payton, and Payton can get nowhere because the hole closes just too soon. I'm going to tell you something, that Hendricks has spent a lot of time in the Bear backfield today.
He certainly had, and that time he's helped by Willie Brown, the defensive back, who came up to join Hendricks in making the tackle. And Hendricks is having a superb day against the Bears here. As you know, he's been around. He was great with Miami. He's 6'7", and he's a very, very fast man, so a hard man to handle.
Second down 8, the ball now at the 42-yard line. Bears trailing by 14-7 here in the second quarter. Here's the snap. It's a handoff to Payton, and he cuts inside the defensive left end. He trips, however, as he goes across the 45. Sticking the arm out was Phil Valapiano, the 6-year vet from Bowling Green on that one. He hasn't been in on too many tackles there. They've been handling him, but they've been concentrating on him at the expense of tackles, I guess, by Hendricks today.
Yeah, that's how Payton was brought down. Phil couldn't make the tackle, but he stuck out an arm, and he tripped up Payton, who fell for a few more yards.
Third down, a little less than 3 yards to go for a first down. The ball is at the 47-yard line of the Bears. Scott is wide right. Split away to the left now, Bashnagel. Here's the handoff, and it goes to Harper, and he outruns one of the men on the left side. He finally outruns that Hendricks, and I believe he's got the first down with plenty to spare as he crosses midfield. Brought to a standing stop, never was brought down to the ground.
Great running by Harper. He wouldn't give up, and he picked up a few extra precious yards there after he was in the grasp of Willie Brown, the defensive halfback there, and he just wouldn't give up. That's typical of Harper and Payton. They both give you that great second effort, and this time it paid off because the Bears got their first down.
4 minutes and 2 seconds to go in the half. Raiders 14, Bears 7. The ball is now in Raider territory on their 47-yard line. Harper and Payton in the backfield now for Chicago. Avellini with a slow count. Here's a pass out in the flat. It's caught by Schubert at the 47-yard line. He's down to the 40 and caught from behind at the 37-yard line. Good work. Good catch by Schubert. He also did a good job of managing to avoid the right linebacker on the play.
He waited for his interference to form on that screen pass, did it beautifully, and Hall finally came over and pushed him out of bounds, but not until the Bears had gained the first down. It's now 1st and 10 for the Bears on the Oakland 37-yard line, so the Bears are on the march.
3:20 to go in the first half. Wide to the right is Scott. Split away to the left is Bashnagel now in the same relative position that Schubert was when he caught that pass on the last play. 1st and 10 to go. Bears ball at the Oakland 37. Here's Avellini on a quick handoff, and the ball goes to Walter. Tries the right side. Little yardage, if any. Managed to sneak inside the 35. Harper, the ball carrier on that play. Got inside the 35, and his momentum and his second effort were responsible for what yardage he got on that one.
That's right. Monty Johnson and Otis Siston once again brought him down. These two are having a field day out there. They're both playing superb football on defense, and that three-man line with 4 linebackers, it may be a little difficult for the Bears to resolve for as far as their running game is concerned.
Musso has replaced Payton now, along with Harper in the backfield, and here's Avellini, throws over the middle, and he hits Bashnagel, and it's a good catch at the 22. He's down in his tracks, but they've got their first down, and the Bears are on the march. That one was good for 11 yards. Brian Bashnagel doing a good job of catching that football. Brian has been a target a little bit this year. Matter of fact, that's about his 8th catch of the year. He had 6 going into the game. The Bears have no pass receivers in the first 15 in the National Football League statistics, which doesn't speak too well for the passing attack. 2:02 to go, 2:01. We may get a whistle here before this play is unfolded. We do. It's the 2-minute timeout now with 2 minutes to go in the first half, and the score, the Raiders 14, the Chicago Bears 7. And when play resumes, it's going to be the Bears ball, 1st and 10 to go on their opponent's 22-yard line.
Jack, it's interesting to note that the Bears have put this drive together and come back after that heartbreaking long pass, 75 yards. Sometimes the team will collapse after such a hard blow, an electric blow, to give them a 75-yard touchdown pass for the Oakland Raiders. But the Bears have not folded up. They've come right back, put together their own drive, and now they have a 1st down 10 on the Oakland 22-yard line, an indication that this is a solid ball club with a lot of characteristics.
Well, the Bears put the switch on it last week. They scored first against Minnesota and wound up winning the game. Now they scored first today. Let's see if that's an omen of any kind. Anyway, the fans out here appear to be pretty optimistic about the Bears' chances. They appear to be smiling down there right now. They're laughing and scratching a little bit, and Arm & Ham's band is striking up those merry tunes, and everybody seems to be in a pretty optimistic mood about the Bears today, even though the opposition is the very famous and fearsome Oakland Raiders.
And we have some scores here, Jack. Miami is now leading the New York Jets 20-0. St. Louis 14, Philadelphia 7 now. New England 20, Buffalo 3. And remember, Buffalo lost O.J. Simpson, who was ejected from the game early in the ball game. In the second quarter, New Orleans 6, Green Bay 6. And if our reports are right, Bobby Douglas has started for New Orleans. In the second quarter, Cleveland has taken an 8-0 lead over Houston. In the second quarter, the New York Giants 3, Dallas 3. Now that's a big surprise. Dallas being held to 3 points by the New York Giants, who are winless so far this season. Pittsburgh has taken a 7-0 lead over Kansas City. And here, of course, the score, Oakland Raiders 14, the Chicago Bears 7. The Bears are on the march with a first down 10 on the Oakland 22-yard line.
Okay, listen to these Bear fans yelling it up down there, trying to help them with this drive. The ball on the 22-yard line of Oakland. Bears trailing 14-7. The ball goes to Harper. Got a good hold at left tackle. Inside the 20 for 2 or 3 yards. He fights his way well on this one. Bears are really plowing away. Don't forget at halftime, couple have a wrap-up for you and some very important guests, too.
The Bears did a good blocking job on the left side of that line that time. They opened a nice hole, and Willie Brown, the defensive back of the Oakland Raiders, had to come up to make the tackle. Harper ran that ball very, very well.
Payton has come into the ball game now. Musso was in for that particular play, so you have Payton and Harper in the I formation. The deep man in the I now is Walter. Slot formation right, Schubert in the slot. It goes to Payton off left guard. Burrows inside the 15 for 2 or 3 yards. A little shy of first down, but the Bears are still plowing away. Dennis Lick trying his best to do a blocking job in the left side. And now, once again, there are a few tempers ready to flare down there, and this time it looked like Noah Jackson wanted to take somebody on for a minute.
Yeah. Rowe made that tackle on that particular play. Rowe is playing one of their middle line. He's the middle guard on the line. He only stands 6'7" and weighs 280 pounds.
Third down 3. The ball is at the 15-yard line. What's the answer going to be to this play? Here's the handoff to Harper, and he is nailed from behind, charging through there. Walter Payton, and Walter was nailed from behind on that play. Boy, whoever got through there sure got in there in a hurry.
Willie Hall came from his defensive position as one of the linebackers and raced right around in the backfield and caught Payton from behind. Willie Hall playing the inside linebacker there, and they were on kind of a blitz there. That is a blitz. And he got through very fast and chased Payton down and made the tackle. So now it's a 4th down, 4 to go for the Bears.
All right, Thomas is going to attempt a field goal. Gary Huff will hold. It'll be spotted down at the 23-yard line, which makes it a 33-yard effort. For the Chicago Bears, Bob Thomas, the spot down. The boot is up. It has the yardage. It is no good. It was off to the left, and so Thomas has failed in his attempt to make his 8th field goal of the year. He had 7 for 15 so far going into the action this afternoon. So Oakland takes the ball, 1st and 10 to go with only 5 seconds remaining in the half. They had the ball on their own 20-yard line. And who knows, that Stabler may try for another bomb. He had a 75-yard job just a few moments ago. The one that gave the Raiders the lead in the football game. The Raiders have fought back from a 7-0 deficit to take a 14-7 lead, which is probably what the score will be at halftime. But it's too bad the Bears couldn't have come up with that field goal then, Cup.
That would have been a big, big help there. Those 3 points, 14-10, would be a very good score.
All right, Stabler hands the ball off now to Van Eegen. They're going to settle for winding up the first half with the lead they have, and that does it. The first half is now history with the score. The Raiders 14, the Bears 7. Back with Cup's recap in a moment.
All right, we're back in Soldier Field, and the statistics indicate that this is certainly a close ball game. Oakland made 7 first downs. The Bears made 10. Oakland has gained a total of 200 yards. The Bears have 145. Oakland has gained 72 yards rushing. The Bears have outgained them 76 yards. Oakland has 123 yards in the air, but of course one was a 75-yard wallop for a touchdown. The Bears have 69 yards. Payton has carried the ball 15 times for 35 yards. That's way below his standards, but we still have the second half to go. The great Kenny Stabler has completed 6 out of 7 for 136 yards and 2 touchdowns. Bob Avellini has completed 5 out of 8 for 78 yards. Well, that's the way the vital statistics have gone here in the first half, which finds the Oakland Raiders leading the Bears 14-7. It's very important now to see who defends which goal, because that will tell us which team is going to have the win at its back in the fourth quarter. And from all indications, the Bears are going to have the win at their back in the third quarter. So that's not exactly how the Bears like to play, but that was the toss of the coin at the beginning of the game, and so the team have the choice, the team that had the choice for this half, the Bears, and they chose to receive the second half, and they'll lose the win in the fourth quarter. All right, Jack, here we go. The Bears have the win. They're going to receive to start the second half. They're trailing by 1 touchdown, but they proved they can move the ball against this Oakland ball club. And let's see if they can continue. Here we go.
Man will kick off. Guy kicked off the last time. Here's the run-up Here's the line drive, and it's taken by a forward there. It's taken by Adam Lee. Falls on the ball at the 29, loses it, picks it up, falls on it again, and finally is going to down the ball at about the 28-yard line. So we're underway now. Third quarter. Raiders 14, Bears 7. I'm Jack Brickhouse along with Irv Kupcinet. We're all set now, it looks like, for one of those big rip-roaring second halves, which have marked the traditional history of the Chicago Bears anyway, and Oakland's had a few in their time, too. Bears ball, 1st and 10 to go. Avellini quarterbacking the ball club. Payton on the left. Harper on the right. Strong side right for the Bears this time. Bashnagel split away left. Scott going in motion out of the left. The handoff goes to Walter Payton off right tackle. He goes. Fights his way across the 30-yard line. Good slant play with a little cross blocking by Scott, who was in motion on the play. So that means now that the Bears have moved that ball on the first carry for about 3 yards, maybe 2. Give them 3. We'll call it 2nd down 7. The ball is now at the 31-yard line.
And give Otis Strunk credit for another, Strunk, I keep shortening his name. Give Otis credit for another fine play. He came from behind the line of scrimmage to make the tackle.
Schubert wide left. Scott split away to the right. 2nd down 7. 7 men on the rush. Here's Avellini dropping back, and he is sacked on the play. As a matter of fact, there's a fumble, and it's recovered, I believe, by Oakland, unless the play was dead. Valapiano came through there, and that ball got away from Avellini, and the ball has been recovered by the Oakland Raiders.
Mr.
Rowe
Valapiano
is going to be given credit for the breakup on this play. However, Valapiano had to be considered as maybe one of the fellows credited with that recovery. Anyway, it's Oakland's ball. They have the ball in Bear territory now. And on a quick opener, here's Van Egan through right tackle. Inside the 15, down to the 12. They really moved the left side of the Bear defense in a hurry on that one.
And Craig Clemens had to come up fast there to make that tackle. Oakland has got all the momentum now, of course, after recovering that fumble. That was a 9-yard run. And now it's 2nd down 1 for the Bears, for Oakland on the Bears 9. Bear 12-yard line.
Oakland threatening to score quickly here in this third quarter. Here's the same ball carrier just to the left side of the line, and they rip a hole in the left side of the line this time. The right side of the Bear defense as he plows inside the 5 and gets down 1st and goal to go for Oakland.
And the 2 Bear safety men on that particular play had to come to the rescue. Craig Clemens and Doug Plank were the 2 men who stopped them, but not until he got to the 4-yard line. So now it's Oakland's ball, 1st and 4 for a TD. And so Oakland has got the momentum. They've got the steam. They recovered the fumble deep in Bear territory, and it looks like they're going to
Warren Bankston and Ted Kowalik are in there now in place of the wide receivers to do a little blocking on this heavy type duty as they try to grind it out inside the 5-yard line. Mark Van Egan, the ball carrier once more. He's carried the ball 3 straight times now. Very little yardage on that play. It's going to be 2nd, goal to go. The ball is now spotted at just about the Chicago Bear 2-yard line.
Give Tom Hicks credit for being the major man in stopping that play. He did a good job in coming up fast to fill that hole.
All right, they're moving fellas like Rideouts and Osborne and Chambers pretty well, which takes a little doing, but they're doing it. Here's the handoff, and this time it's Davis. He goes off right tackle. Touchdown, Oakland. And the Bears are complaining that he wasn't in there. Hicks hollering his head off now at the head linesman on the play and getting nowhere. It's a touchdown for Oakland as a result of a quick fumble recovery, which was credited to Dave Rowe, but I'll guarantee you look at the film on this, you'll see that Phil Valapiano was very instrumental in breaking up that play that caused the fumble. And consequently, Oakland, a real veteran, professional, championship-type ball club, has cashed in as the real pros do on this opportunity. So now Mann will attempt the extra point. There's the boot. It's blocked. The Bears have blocked this one. So, there's a flag on the play. If the Bears were offside, of course, Mann will get another shot at it.
Offside the Bears, Jack, unfortunately. So they get another shot. That's the way the Bears' luck has been going in this half so far.
Well, chances are they will not accept the penalty.
Rideout got credit for blocking that kick, Jack.
So they're going to try it again.
The offside nullifies that effort.
Still will.
Who scored the touchdown for it?
There's the spot down. There's the kick. It is up, and it is good. And the score of the football game is now the Raiders 21, the Bears 7. Back with the kickoff in just a minute.
If all you need is money, come on into HFC. Come on in. Come on in. Come on in to HFC.
We're Household Finance, and last year we helped over 2 million people get the most out of life. For some, it was a dream vacation. For others, a stereo system, a snowmobile, or the car they really wanted. But we found a way to help them all. So,
Come on in. Come on in. Come on in to HFC.
HFC, an equal opportunity lender.
So come on in. Come on in. Come on in to HFC.
Household Finance, where people use our money to get the most out of life.
Come on into HFC.
For a large or small loan, phone and visit Household Finance. 65 offices in the Chicago area. Offices in all major cities in Illinois, Indiana, Michigan, and Wisconsin. Deep man for the Chicago Bears now is going to be Bashnagel, and Brian, who's one of the better kickoff return men in the league, has not had much of a chance to do it so far this afternoon. He's the number 3 kickoff return man in the league at an average of 27.2 yards per return. Once again, Mann will be the fellow to do the kicking, and he advances on the ball. There's the boot and arrow. It's another ground ball, and it's taken by Adam Lee at the 18-yard line. Mike's at the 30, still going and battling away against 3 real behemoths there at about the 33-yard line, and down he goes. First man to reach him for Oakland on that one was Floyd Rice, the linebacker, 6-year vet from Alcorn A&M, and so the Bears have the football now, 1st and 10 to go on their own 34-yard line.
Yeah, we have some scores here, Jack. Miami is leading the New York Jets 20-0 in the third quarter. St. Louis and Philadelphia 14-14 in the fourth quarter. New England 20, Buffalo 3 in the third quarter. New Orleans is leading Green Bay 13-6 in the second quarter. Cleveland is now leading Houston 8-7 at halftime. New York Giants and Dallas are 3-3 at halftime.
Here's a pass out in the flat intended for Scott. It's just plain off the mark. Avellini threw a bad pass. Scott was out here in the flat. One of those quick passes, sideline pass. Never had a chance. That'll make it 2nd down 10, simply an incomplete pass, and I wonder if Avellini was just trying to get rid of that ball in a big hurry that time because of the way those Oaklands have been charging through there on him. If you recall, they sacked him for a fumble the last time he tried to do that. And it was converted into a touchdown. It is now 2nd down 10. Bears ball at their 34-yard line. They are trailing 21-7. We're in the third quarter. Avellini gets the ball. It's a pitch out now to Payton. Sweeps the left side. Gets a real good block from Harper, but he still can't turn the corner because the secondary comes up to do the job on him. And as he got across the 35, he was hit and upended in one great big hurry on that play.
Brown, the defensive back, came up very fast there to make that tackle, and Water fumbled the ball away after the ball was dead, of course. Many fans thought that there was a fumble, but the ball already was dead, and so the recovery by Oakland was nullified. And the Bears are finding it difficult now to penetrate that 3-4 defense that the Oakland Raiders are now using. Their running game has not been very effective against that defense.
3rd down 6. The ball is now at the 37-yard line of Chicago. The Bears need 6 yards here to get a fresh set of downs. Here's Avellini back. The rush is on. He throws. It's the bomb. And it is incomplete. Latta had a hand on him, but couldn't hang on to it at the 24-yard line. Greg Latta, first time today it seems like that he's been a target. And so on 4th down now, the Bears are going to have to give up the football. Greg Latta, who unlike the tight end for the Oakland Raiders, Casper, who is the number 1 pass catcher in his conference, has not caught all that many passes for the Chicago Bears this year. Matter of fact, he's only caught a dozen going into this action this afternoon. So now Parsons will boot. He has the wind with him, which means, of course, that the Bears have the wind against them in the final quarter. Let's hope that turns out to be a factor for them, because that means they'll be very much in the game. And there is the kick, and it's going inside the 10, and it's going to be down there by a Bear. Hey, beautiful. Schubert got down underneath that one and finally tracked it down, and it winds up as a 62-yard boot from scrimmage for the Bears. It was a line drive type kick. It was off to the right, and the deep man, Neil Colsey, decided he better let it go into the end zone, but Schubert, scampering down there, plus a little cooperation from the bounce of the ball, was able to down it on the 2-yard line.
That was a perfect punt by Parsons against the wind there. He kept the ball low, and it just kept bouncing in the Bears' favor. And a very good break for the Bears, who have now got the Oakland Raiders on the 2-yard line.
Okay. Let's see how Stabler handles this one. Here's the handoff, and it goes to Van Egan, and off the right side he goes. He's out to the 10-yard line. Again, ripping holes in the Bear line. I don't understand why they are so easily able to move fellas like the Chicago Bear up front rushmen. Osborne and Stillwell and Rideout and Chambers are being pushed around pretty good, and the linebackers are no bargain on this.
That's right. They're making
the
a tackle, but far.
The point I make is, Cup, that the running attack of the Oakland Raiders has not been all that good. Now, the blocking, of course, has been pretty good, but most of the time it's been pass protection type blocking. Here's the handoff. It's this time handed off to the deep man on the right side, and I'm pretty sure in this case it was Pete Vanacek who relieved Van Egan on that one particular play. That's the second time Pete's carried the ball today. Little gain on the play. The ball is now on the 11-yard line.
Chambers made a very good play at that time. He showed his old form there by coming through to make that tackle at the line of scrimmage, or almost at the line of scrimmage.
So it's third down one. Third down one. The line of scrimmage is the 11-yard line. And how about this? They're going to gamble in their own territory on third down and one. Look at this. And it looks like he made it. It's going to be close, but I think he made it. The ball carrier off the right side on the play. They may call for the measurement. It's going to be close. On third down, and a yard to go, it went off the right side, and did they make it or not? They did not. Now with fourth down, I thought he made it, but he didn't, and so there's a break for the Bears with fourth down.
Once again, the Bear defense has been magnificent. And they forced the Oakland Raiders to go into a punt on fourth down now, Jack. 4th and 1. They 3rd and 1. They couldn't pick up the 1 yard.
So twice they gave the ball to Vanacek, and it looked like the last time that Pete was going to make it. So now Guy, standing a couple of yards in his end zone, is going to kick, and he's kicking against the northwest wind at 17 miles an hour. The best punter in football, Ray Guy. He's number 2 in the rankings, but actually I think he's regarded by the experts as the best. Here's the high boot. It's very short. Oh, it's terrible. And it's going to go out of bounds at the Oakland 40-yard line. Maybe even inside of that at the 39. It was an angle shot. The wind didn't do it any favors, and all in all, the Bears come up with a break. Now, if the Chicago Bears, as a result of that 27-yard punt, net from scrimmage to Oakland, can take advantage of this opportunity, they can be considered back in this football game. It's the Raiders 21, the Bears 7. 9:35 to go in the third quarter at Soldier Field. A lot of things can happen. Bashnagel wide to the left. Latta, strong side right next to Seavey. He's next to Reeve Sorey. He's next to the center Neal. Here's the snap, and a handoff goes to Payton, and over the middle he goes, and he is grabbed quickly. The holes are just not there. They are not being able to move the fellas on that Oakland defense.
Sistrunk was right there once again, Jack, and he has not been handled by Dennis Lick today very well. He's overpowering the rookie there, and consequently, he has been a very, very tough factor in the Bear running game today. He's been on top of the Bears throughout the whole game here.
Lionel Antoine, of course, has a questionable knee, and that's why Lick, one of the Bears' big draft choices, down through the years, one of the fellows with most promise, Wisconsin and Chicago, is the fellow who was in there. And here's a pass in the end. Touchdown. Caught. Touchdown. Scott making the catch. Scott outrunning the deep man for the Oakland Raiders. A beautiful, beautiful performance by Jimmy Scott, who's caught his second touchdown this time. He outran Skip Thomas, the defensive back, 36 yards, as Avellini goes for the bomb. And it worked. And the Bears have a touchdown.
A beautiful, beautiful performance at that time. As Jack pointed out, Jimmy Scott, who's got some great moves, outskipped Thomas, whose name is Skip, and got into the end zone for the touchdown catch, and here is the extra point.
Here comes a very important extra point indeed. Huff will hold. Thomas will boot. The kick is up. It is good. And so, with 8:53 to go in the third quarter, the Raiders 21, the Bears 14. Back with the kickoff in just a minute.
Some proud father came back from his solid men of olds and described his new car to his son as being solid. But solid is a description that seems to have grown through the years. We just want to remind you that the latest in this continuing series of solid cars, service, and deals awaits your test drive now at your Chicagoland Solid Men of Olds. Want to find out what solid really feels like? Come test drive an Olds today at your Chicagoland Solid Men of Olds. Solid.
Now that the 77s are here, this would be a good time for you to visit your Chicagoland Solid Men of Olds and see what made the Cutlass the best-selling model of any make in 1976. One drive and you'll see why it promises to be a solid leader again this year. The deep men are Jennings and Garrett. They're standing, of course, at the south end of Soldiers Field right now. The Raiders 21, the Bears 14, 8:53 to go in the third quarter as Thomas gets set to kick off. Scott of the Bears has now caught 2 touchdown passes. That means he has 3 for the year. Here's the run-up, here's the boot. And it's an onside kick, and the Bears are going to battle for this one. Did they get it or not? I believe they did. The Bears tried trickery. The onside kick worked. Brian Bashnagel, I believe, is the boy who got it. Bashnagel did. It's verified now that Bashnagel recovered that ball for the Bears. An onside kick. The Bears gambling. Wow, what a gamble. They gambled on the bomb. They went 2 plays, 39 yards for a touchdown, taking a total of about 21 seconds to do it. And now they go for an onside kick on the next one. They had the ball 1st and 10 on their own 49-yard line. The Bears battling to get back in this football game. A very slick play, and it works. Here's Payton sweeping around the right side. And as he tries to turn the corner, he is smeared. Walter unable to get past once again. Our pal, Mr. Phil Valapiano, that left linebacker.
That's right, Jack. The left linebacker, nobody cleared him out. The blocking assignments are a little bit peculiar for the Bears here because they're playing what is in effect a 7-man line. 3 men up front and 4 men right behind them. So close that it looks like a 7-man line, and that changes the blocking assignments considerably.
Less than a yard gained on that last play. The ball is still at just about the 49-yard line. Here's Avellini dropping back. The rush is on. Rick handles the rusher. However, here's the pass incomplete. The target at the 40-yard line was Steve Schubert. It looked for a hot minute like Dennis Lick was going to be outcharged again by either Rowe or Sistrunk, but he managed to handle his man on that one and protect Avellini.
That's right. He did a good job on that play, and that pass was almost picked off by number 58, Monty Johnson. It went right through his hands. It could have been an interception. Anyway, the Bears have a 3rd down 10 now on their own 49-yard line as a result of that surprise onside kick, which caught the Oakland Raiders by complete surprise. And so, Jack, let's see if we can't get something going in our 3rd down efficiency rate.
Bashnagel, wide to the left. Out here to the right is Scott. Here's Avellini looking. He throws up the middle, and he hits his man. He hits Greg Latta at the 30-yard line. Completed pass, and the Bears are knocking on the door again. Greg Latta, for the first time today, catching a pass. Second time he's been the target. 21 yards on the play.
And caught that ball right between Colsey, the great Ohio State product, and one man, and one defender, and Monty Johnson, the linebacker, who was backing up. He split the seam perfectly to catch that pass.
All right, the ball is on the 29-yard line. 1st and 10, Chicago. Let's see what trickery the Bears have in mind this time as Schubert splits away to the left. Scott is in a slot to the left. What a tight right end on the play. Front man in the eye is Harper. Right behind him, Payton. It's a pitch out to Walter. He tries right guard, and his second effort carries him for about 4 or 5 on the play. Very good work by Walter. Again, as he tried the right side, there simply was not blocking. There just wasn't a hole there. The right side of the Bear offense, even as hard as they try, are having difficulty moving the left side of that great defense of Oakland.
And he had George Atkinson and Willie Hall both hanging on to Walter as he made that second effort to pick up a few yards. Anyway, at second down 6, he did pick up 4 yards despite the fact that he ran into a stone wall.
Okay, second down 6. The ball is inside the 25. We'll call it the 24-yard line now. Throw set this time with Harper on the right, Payton on the left. The handoff to Rowland. He's off left tackle. He's got a little yardage. He's inside the 20, the 15, down to the 9, the 11-yard line. Roland Harper with good cross blocking, good interior blocking on the left side that time. A little on the tricky side. 13 yards to the Bears on this one. 1st and 10 now. They have the ball. They're going to say that he went down at about the 11-yard line. 11 and a half, really. We'll call it the 11.
A beautiful play by the Bears. They took care of Mr. Hendricks that time, who's been a constant source of irritation to them. But this time on the trap, they took care of him beautifully, so Harper went inside and picked up all that yardage. A 1st down 10 on the Oakland 12.
All right. Avellini barking it out. Here's the handoff. Goes to Payton. Quick opener, and he's at the 10-yard line. He's still battling at the 5. He's through. Second effort, and the Bears have a touchdown. The Bears have another touchdown as Walter Payton puts them right back in the ball game with a beautiful second effort performance off right tackle. A slant play which found him really held up almost at the line of scrimmage. He battled his way through for what appeared to be second effort for about 2 more yards, and then we're going to say third effort on this one because Walter then fought his way, broke a couple of tackles, and went on through for a score. Walter Payton scoring a touchdown. Here's Thomas, and there's a mix-up now, and Gary Huff has to hang on to the football. He's tackled, and the Bears fail to convert. The Bears fail to convert, and it's the Raiders 21, the Bears 20 with 5:57 to go in the third quarter. Something going wrong with the snap from center, and we'll be back with the kickoff in just a minute.
There are more than 11,000 blind people and 7,000 deaf people in Chicago and the suburbs. There are nearly 500,000 handicapped people in the Chicago area, too. There are 6,000 dependent and neglected children. There are 65,000 people in dire need of home medical care. Yes, the Crusade of Mercy helped many, but not all. We couldn't. We just didn't have enough money. So please give your fair share to the Crusade of Mercy. You're one of the lucky ones.
Life is good, life is fun, but not that way for everyone.
Thank God you can give.
All right. Thomas about to kick off for the Bears now. Here's the run-up. Here's Bob's boot. Carries pretty well. It's going to go right to the goal line. Taken there by Jennings. He's at the 5. He runs parallel with the 10-yard line, and he's nailed at the 11-yard line as he tries to turn. The Bears with a real hard-hitting, real zealous, real souped-up specialty team with Pensick for one.
Give Virgil Livers
Jerry Muckenstern for the other, and Virgil Livers for another, really moving down that field. So it's Oakland's ball, 1st and 10 to go on their 11-yard line. Cup, look out now.
Anything can happen, and let's hope it does.
Okay, the Bears failing on that conversion, and just what went wrong with it, we cannot say. But here's the snap, and the handoff goes this time now to Davis. He tries left tackle. He gets little, if any, yardage on the play. As coming up in the secondary to help Reeves was, I believe, Doug Plank on that one, and he really nailed him.
That's right. Reeves was in there first, and Doug Plank from a safety man came up there with a real hit. And let's see now, Jack. It looks like there's a penalty on that play, and the Bears are going to accept it. It's going to push Oakland deep into their own territory, of course, where they are now. A holding penalty against the Oakland Raiders, and the Bears are discussing it now to see whether they accept or decline. We don't see a signal from the referee yet. Now he's coming over to give the signal and make the announcement. Holding against the Oakland Raiders, and the Bears decline it. There isn't much to gain because they're so deep in Oakland territory now at the 11-yard line. They'd rather have the loss of the down, Jack.
The holding cup was on the right guard, George Beeler, 8-year vet from Stanford. Second down. Second down now. The ball on the 11-yard line. Here's the snap and the fake handoff. Here's Stabler running to his left, cocks his arm. He finally throws the football, and it is way over the head of any intended receiver. Casper, Davis, and Branch were all there. It looked like a convention of Oakland players at about the 30-yard line, and just nobody was anywhere near the ball, though.
Stabler did something he doesn't do very often. He ran out of the pocket. He's a great man to stay in the pocket. He moves back and forth, but usually in the pocket. This time he ran out of it and was seeking somebody, but nobody was open. The Bear defense had forced him out of the pocket, which forced the incomplete pass.
Now, third down 9. Boletnikoff wide to the left, picked up in a one-on-one by Allen Ellis. Branch out here to the right. His man is Livers. Here's the snap. It's a running play. It is not going to work. The Bears are ready for it. 2 yards is all they're going to gain on this one, as Stabler tried a little trickery that time, and it didn't work. He handed the ball off to Clarence Davis, and it was no deal.
No deal at all. Thanks to Wally Chambers, who was right there, and Doug Plank, the safety man, came up fast. He probably was in a position for a blitz, and they came up there to stop the play cold. So now it's a fourth down situation for the Oakland Raiders deep in their own territory, and they have to punt.
Fourth down 8. Ray Guy standing a couple of yards in his end zone, anticipating the kick. Standing on the Oakland 40 is Virgil Livers. WGN Radio Chicago gets set for a big finish. Here's the boot. It's high, carries very well, but the wind holds it down. And it takes a kind of an angle bounce. Bashnagel still grabs it on the far side of the field and takes it back for about 3 or 4 yards. The Bears have the ball now on the Oakland 43 or 4 yard line. Bashnagel backing up, actually. It's a 33-yard boot and a 4-yard return as Brian saw the ball, so he figured, why not just go ahead and grab it?
That's right.
53,585 today, Cup, in a total of 3,724 no-shows on Soldier Field lakefront.
They don't know what they're missing, those no-shows. This has been a sensational game.
All right, Bears ball, 1st and 10. 21-20 the Raiders right now as a result of a missed extra point. Here's Payton off the left tackle side. He manages to weave and bob his way for 2 or 3 yards on this one. Once again, the hole closed in kind of a hurry on him.
We have some scores here now, Jack. Miami 27, New York Jets 7. St. Louis 17. They finally taken the lead over Philadelphia, and that's the final. St. Louis defeated Philadelphia 17-14 in a squeaker. New England 20, Buffalo 10 in the fourth quarter. Green Bay is now leading New Orleans 16-13 in the second quarter. Cleveland 8, Houston 7 in the third quarter. New York Giants 3, Dallas 3. That's surprising. In the third quarter, the New York Giants are winless this season. Pittsburgh has taken a 17-0 lead over Kansas City. And here, of course, it's a real squeaker, another 1-point difference. The Raiders 21, the Bears 20 in the third quarter. And the Bears have possession, and who knows? Anyway, Jack, it's been an exciting ball game all the way down the line.
Yes, we have one of the Oakland Raiders down on the field right now, shaking on that last play. It may be an official. It may be one of the officials. I believe it is.
Yes. One of the officials. And
the Oakland Raiders are the ones who are grouped around them. The Bears have been a group on the midfield stripe, and this particular cluster is at the 40-yard line of Oakland. One of the officials may have been knocked out on that play. Cup, seriously, having been an official for many years yourself in this league, there is a very definite possibility for a man to be hurt every once in a while, isn't there?
Absolutely, especially for the umpire who stands right behind the defensive line, and he's right in the line of fire almost on every play, and it's very easy for somebody to block him, clip him, or even tackle him when the play is so close and so ferocious. And in this case, it's the number 68 is a Bill Ross, the umpire, and that's the one, the umpire. That is really the danger point because he's right in the thick of the firing line, and who knows what's going to happen. Anyway, it looks like he's now up, doesn't it, Jack? Can you see?
Yes.
He's up and around. In case he can't go, I've got my striped shirt with me, and I'm ready to run down on the field and do what I can to help him out.
Well, I remember Hallis saying one time that Kup, as the head lineman, brought the chain out, and when he plunged it down to see if the Bears had made first down, Kup said, "We made it." And Hallis said, "Right then and there, I knew we had our man."
Yeah, he always says that I gained more yards for the Bears than many of the halfbacks.
Walter Payton now has 63 yards and 22 carries. You know, he's averaged over 100 yards per game this year, going into the season with about 802 so far. Here is the quarterback, Avellini back, drops the pass, and it's caught there at the 20-yard line by Harper. He's down at the 4-yard line. The Bears are knocking on the door, first and goal to go. The Bear passing attack coming alive as Harper catches a 37-yard pass for the Chicago Bears. Now, he has no touchdown passes, but I'll tell you something, he'll never come closer without getting it because it looked like he was in the clear on that one.
That's right, Jack. They had two defenders circling him, but he had a good chance to break through him. Unfortunately, he could, but a tremendous play, a good toss by Avellini, and the Oakland Raiders defense had fallen apart. They missed the assignment there completely, and Harper was wide open when he caught that ball.
Okay, that puts the ball at the 5. First and goal to go for Chicago. The Bears certainly ought to take the lead here, either by touchdown or field goal. They're down by 1 point. Adamley, the front man. Harper, Payton, the deep man on the eye, and as Adamley tries to block for him and take him through left guard, he follows the center kneel, and he gets himself about 2 or 3 on the play.
Everybody in the middle of the line there among the Oakland Raiders was on top of that play. It was a very difficult play for the Bears to move anybody out there, particularly the big row, the middle linebacker, or the inside linebacker, as they call him, and Monty Johnson were right there. And so the Bears now have a second down and 2 to go, Jack.
The Italian Stallion has come in. Muso's in there. He's actually a wingback on this play. Payton and Adamley are the deep men. Here's the snap, and the ball goes to Payton. He sweeps around the right side, and did he or didn't he? It's going to be close. It's a touchdown for the Bears. They did it again. Sweeping around the right side, blocking by Adamley, by Jerry Myers. Rather by Harper and by Muso on that play, and the Bears have themselves another score. The Bears have taken the lead again. Talk about a fighting comeback. It's been sensational here in this third quarter. Avellini has now completed 8 out of 14 for 172 yards. And with 2:44 to go in the third quarter, the Bears have taken the lead, and Thomas will now attempt the extra point. Huff will hold. Here's the spot down. The kick is up. It is good. And the score now is the Chicago Bears 27, the Raiders 21. 2:44 to go in the third quarter, Cup. What a fourth quarter this could be, huh?
These Bears have really shown they have character. And now you're witnessing something on the field, ladies and gentlemen. The whole audience here, some 53,000 people, are standing to give the Bears a standing ovation for that great performance. A team that came behind to now lead the Oakland Raiders 27-21. There was a time when the Oakland Raiders, through their great quarterback Kenny Stabler, hit on a 75-yard touchdown pass that might have taken the guts out of this team, but they did not wilt at all. They show they have a lot of character. They came right back, and they've been fighting it tooth and nail until now the Bears are leading 27-21 late in the third quarter. And win, lose, or draw, this has been one of the more exciting ball games of the year, and one that establishes the Bears as a real contender. Anyway, they're playing one of the best teams in the league. They're leading one of the best teams in the league. And who knows, the Bears are giving evidence that they too may be one of the better teams in the league in a short time. Here is a final New England 20, Buffalo 10. A third quarter, Green Bay is now leading New Orleans 23-13. And still in the third quarter, the Giants and Dallas 3-3. What a surprise that is, because you know the Giants have not won a ball game, and Dallas, of course, is considered maybe the best team in football today.
All right, here's the run up by Thomas. There's the boot by Bob. It carries pretty well. It's going to be taken by Jennings at the 1. He's at the 5, the 10, the 15, running to his right at the 20, forced out of bounds on the far side of the field as he gets to the 25-yard line. So, Oakland's ball now, first and 10 to go, 2:35 to go in the third quarter. There's lots of time for a lot of things to happen in this football game. The Bears 27, the Raiders 21. So stick around. This ought to be some second half by the time it's all over. First and 10 on the 25-yard line. Stabler, one of the greatest competitors under fire we've ever seen in this league. may get a chance to prove it again today. Here is Stabler. He throws the sideline pass, and it is incomplete. The target was Biletnikoff on the far side. He was a little conscious of the chain, the end of the pole there, the ball marker, the line yard marker over there. That's part of that chain gang. He also was hearing a couple of footsteps, I believe, as Alan Ellis came up to the secondary.
He not only heard footsteps, but Stabler heard footsteps. Wally Chambers got to him just before he threw the ball and came within an eyelash of having another sack. Anyway, here we go, Jack, with a 2nd 10.
Second down 10, the ball at the 25 of Oakland. Oakland's ball. The Raiders trying to come from behind. Here's Stabler dropping back again. He cocks the arm, he throws, and it is caught by Biletnikoff this time at the 39-yard line. And, of course, if the play holds up, that's a first down for the Oakland Raiders as, once again, Stabler, Kenny Stabler, one of the coolest customers you ever saw. He's got the poise of a riverboat gambler. Completes one for 13 yards. He was protected pretty well on that play. We'll have to say that. He had a little time to throw. It is 1st and 10. Put the ball now at the 38-yard line. Oakland trying to march back and take the lead in this football game. Once again, Stabler back. He looks, he throws, and again he throws to Biletnikoff. Same play, only on the opposite side this time, and he's knocked down immediately by Livers, but Biletnikoff is again the target. Biletnikoff, one of the outstanding pass receivers in this game. It is now going to be 2nd down, 4 yards to go. Give them 6 on that last play. The line of scrimmage now is going to be the Oakland 43-yard line. Biletnikoff lines up on the right side this time, and Branch is out here on the left. Here's the snap, and it's a trap play, and the ball is given to Davis. He breaks a tackle and fights his way up near to midfield. Beautiful work, by the way. Wally Chambers got through, and he actually broke Wally's tackle.
Very, very good play on that particular spot there, Jack. I see the... 1 second.
Little microphone trouble there for Cup, but it'll all be straightened out in a moment. In the meantime, the ball is now at midfield, just shy of midfield by the length of the ball itself. Time for a few more plays here with 50 seconds to go in the 3rd quarter. Here's Stabler. He throws, and it is almost intercepted by Bryant. Raymond Bryant stepping in front of Branch, and he goes sailing into the Bear bench and knocks over a whole great big container of orange juice or whatever it is they have to drink down there on that bench. He really went through the whole mob. Matter of fact, I think a cameraman or somebody, one of those guys working the sidelines, was bounced around a little on that one, too. It is now going to be 2nd down 10. Wayman Bryant trying very hard for a pass interception. Biletnikoff and Branch are both lined up on the left side this time with Branch in the slot. Wayman Bryant picks him up. Here's the snap. The handoff goes this time to Garrett. Carl sweeps the right side. He's grabbed quickly by Reeves. He got into Bear territory, a few yards worth as he swept that right side, but Carl Garrett, ex-Bear, does not make a whole lot of yardage on that play, maybe 4 yards.
Reeves came in, Jack, and rolled him down to earth on a very good play by the middle linebacker there. He had to get through the line of scrimmage and pick up the ball carrier, Garrett, from behind, and he did a good job.
Now the ball is on the Bear 46-yard line. 3rd down, 6 yards to go for a first down. Here's a key play. A key play for the Bears with 12 seconds to go, and maybe they won't get this play off. The clock is still ticking away. 9, 8, we're in the 3rd quarter. 6, 5, 4, they may, or if they don't be surprised. I don't think they're going to get the play off. There's the gun. The 3rd quarter is over just as they bent over and tensed, anticipating the snap. And so at the end of the 3rd quarter, the score, the Bears 27, the Raiders 21.
What makes Old Style a great light beer? Where it's brewed and how it's brewed. That's why Old Style is double brewed in God's country, where the water is crystal clear and flows from springs deep beneath the floor of a beautiful valley, some say all the way from Canada. With water this pure, when you brew a beer once, you've got a good beer. But when you brew a beer twice, you've got a great light beer. This double brewing process is called krausening. Krausening is a traditional old-world process, the most natural way to brew beer, and the most expensive. Try Old Style, pure brewed in God's country.
G. Heilemann Brewing Company, La Crosse, Wisconsin.
Okay, we go to the fourth quarter. I'm Jack Brickhouse along with Irv Kupcinet. We're all set to go now with the Bears out in front by a 27-21 score. Headed into the fourth quarter, ladies and gentlemen, get set for the big finish. And don't forget, following the ball game, Cup will have a recap. Our game, our post-game program, the football scoreboard, will bring you up to date on scores, and our guest is going to be one of the all-time greats and one of the all-time great guys, George Moose Cotter, famous All-American from Notre Dame and the Chicago Bears, and a member of both the Collegiate and the Pro Football Hall of Fame. You can't hardly get them kind no more.
He's going to help explain what happened to Notre Dame yesterday.
Okay, put the ball now at the 46-yard line of the Bears. 3rd down, 6 for Oakland, as Oakland now with the wind at their back heads for the south goal. Here's Stabler dropping back. The rush is on. He's sacked. They got him. Woo, did they get him?
Beautiful play on the Red Dog, Jack, by Don Reeves. Came through there. Beautiful Red Dog at the right time. A 3rd down passing situation, and the Bears played the right hunch there. Beautiful.
Okay. Well, that pays them back for the one Oakland pulled on Avellini in the first half.
Right.
A big loss on the play makes it now 4th and 17. And Stabler appears to be shaken. Stabler was hurt on the play. Ken Stabler. The ball has been pushed back now to the Oakland 43-yard line. Ray Guy is in. He'll have to boot that football. And Stabler is being helped off the field. Ken Stabler, really clobbered on that play, is being helped off the field.
He really got hit, Jack, because Don Reeves, the 230-pounder, really came running at him at full speed. He had nobody in front of him on that Red Dog, and he took such a hard shot at him that surprisingly the Stabler even got up. But Stabler did walk off under his own power.
Okay, Dave Dalby ready to center that ball. Back to Guy, who will get the kick away from about the 32 or 3-yard line. There's the perfect pass from center. Here's the kick. It's up. It's high. Boy, it's a beautiful punt. Man, it is something. Let's go into the end zone. It does. It's over Virgil Liver's head, and as a result goes into the end zone, 57 yards net. However, of course, you take off 20 because it's a touchback. It'll be brought out to the 20-yard line. The Bears 27, the Raiders 21, ladies and gentlemen. 14:35 to go in the football game, and 53,585 people and a few reporters are personally trying to just send out the kind of encouragement to those guys on that field right now that will keep them going and maintain the momentum to win this game. Boy, do these people want to see these guys pull one here. All right, Harper and Payton in the deuce backfield. Harper on the right. Avellini gets the ball. It's a handoff to Walter. Trap play. No hole. And it's a miracle that he even got 2 or 3 yards on that one because he was really trapped back there, it looked like. However, Walter, dancing back and forth like a flea on a griddle, managed to move to a little hole on the right side and knife his way with that low carry of his for a couple of 3 yards.
Jack, he had no place to go that time. The Bears were unable to move the Oakland Raiders with their 3-4 defense there, and so Walter just did the best he could. He just dove and picked up a few yards.
Put the ball at 2nd and 7 now. Virtually the same formation, slot right, with Schubert in the slot. Here's the handoff. This time it is Harper, and as Rowland tries the right side on a slant play, he's down to the 25-yard line, no farther. Harper, the ball carrier.
Nobody picked up the blocking on that time, particularly Phil Valpiano, the defensive linebacker there, and so Walter ran right into him for no gain whatsoever. The Bears are a little bit handicapped now in the fourth quarter because there's a very strong wind, as you know, blowing against them. That's going to hamper their passing attack, and of course, they have not moved the ball too well without passing. Now, they cannot afford to pass deep in their own territory now unless they're going to pull one out of the bag. Here we go, Jack.
They've got Payton in a slot to the left. He could be a target on this one. Here's Avellini looking for a receiver. He throws. It's the bomb. It's way down there, and it is incomplete. Past midfield, as Jimmy Scott was the target. However, he was double-teamed on that one, and he just had no chance at all to catch that football. So that means now that Parsons is going to have to boot the football against the wind. Oakland could wind up with pretty good field position as a result of this situation. 13:10 to go in the football game. The Bears 27, the Oakland Raiders 21. And dropping back now on a single safety, as he does on almost all the punt returns, is Neil Colsey, also a defensive back with this Oakland ball club. Parsons will get the kick away from near the 15-yard line. There's the boot. It's high, and it's a good kick, all things considered. But once they get up there, the wind grabs them, and it just looks like it's hitting the invisible shield, and Colsey actually is able to grab this ball near midfield. Now, when that ball started out, as they have so many times this afternoon, it looked like it's going to maybe go somewhere, maybe fight that wind. But as it gets up the air a little higher, reaches the peak of its climb, then all of a sudden is forced backwards toward the kicker, and that wound up as a 25-yard net punt from scrimmage. 13:03 to go in the game. Oakland's ball, 1st and 10. Near midfield, just about a half yard shy on the Oakland side of midfield. Ace backfield, and it's Van Egan back, and Stabler going to pass. He is cleared again. Loses the football. This could be a legitimate fumble. If it is, Stillwell has himself a touchdown. Wait a minute. He goes on in, but I'm going to tell you something. That's about as quick a whistle. It is a touchdown. I was going to say, if they don't allow it, that's going to be the quickest whistle in America. Now, wait a minute. There's a confusion. Some people say touchdown, some say no. They're going to say the Bears have the football. They're going to say the Bears have the football, it looks like, but they're not allowing the touchdown.
That's right. Anyway, it's a tremendous break for the Bears, Jack. They got a 1st down 10 on the Oakland Raiders 40-yard line. They'd rather have the touchdown, of course, but unfortunately that they didn't get. But they did sack Mr. Stabler. The fumble occurred, and the Bears recovered.
Okay, they've ruled that the ball was dead before he started to run with the ball, but Stillwell thought he had a score. Here's Avellini, and this one's batted up in the air. It's intercepted by Hendricks. And he's got the ball now at the Bear 47-yard line, tackled by Basnagel. Avellini started to throw a pass. It was deflected up in the air, and it was recovered by Ted. It was picked off in the air by Ted Hendricks. Goes for an interception for him. The fellow who broke up the play actually was Otis Sistrunk, it looked like, Cup. He was the one who deflected the ball to Hendricks. So actually the fumble recovery and the wiped out touchdown are now all nullified, and the Bears are in trouble because Oakland has the ball in Bear territory. Here's the handoff. It goes now to Van Egan, and as Van Egan moves inside the 43, he's met by a couple of Bears and down very hard, but he made a little yardage on the play. The Bears giving the ball back in a tremendous hurry. And I'll always be a little bit curious about why a touchdown was not allowed on that play.
That's right. It was a fast whistle. They ruled the ball dead at the point of recovery, unfortunately. And now the Oakland Raiders are getting into scoring position.
2nd down 6. You can't give a break like this to champs like that. And here is a handoff. It goes to Davis on the trap play. Over the middle he goes. He's shy of the 40-yard line, however, met by several Bears.
And give credit to Mr. Bryant and... Bryant and Craig Clemens was in on that tackle there. Very good play by Craig coming up from his safety position to help the linebacker.
3rd down, 3 yards to go for the 1st down. The ball is at the Bear 40-yard line. 3rd down, 3. Up to the line they come. Dalby the center, flanked on the right by Beeler, on the left by Upshaw, one of the great ends, one of the great guards. Art Shell, left tackle. John Bella, the right tackle for this Oakland ball club. And now here's a little bit of a mix-up. Flag down all over the place. And Stabler, getting the ball, has no chance to move back. And Stabler drops the ball disgustedly on the artificial turf here at Soldier Field. As this play, of course, is ruled nullified by some kind of an infraction. We're going to get the signal now. It's a illegal procedure penalty against the Oakland Raiders, and the chances are somebody in the right side of that line started a little bit early, and as a result drew the Bear across the...
Dave Casper was way offside. He stepped over the line of scrimmage.
Well, he might have been the target on a pass play there.
Could have been.
He was a little anxious maybe to get going.
That happens, Jack.
That's going to make it 3rd down 8. The ball still just shy of the Bear 40-yard line. 11:41 to go in the football game. The Bears 27, the Oakland Raiders 21. You heard right. The Bears 27, the Oakland Raiders 21. We're in the 4th quarter. Oakland's ball, 3rd down 8, 3rd and long yardage. Biletnikoff wide left. Branch is in a slot to the left now on this play. Casper, tight right end. Here's Stabler looking left. He throws. It's way down there, and it is incomplete. The target on the play was Branch, and the ball, however, went into the end zone. The fellow trying to run hard enough to catch that and intercept it was Doug Plank. And Alan Ellis was down there, too. The both of them were trying to outrun that football.
There was little chance of a completion on that one. First of all, because Kenny didn't throw it well. He threw it much too long for the receiver, and the receiver was well covered by Ellis. So, a punting situation with a 4th down 6 for the Oakland Raiders.
Okay. And dropping back at a twin safety for the Bears now are Livers and Bashnagel. The kick should come from about the 44-yard line of Oakland. He's got the wind with him. This could be a very, very good kick for Guy. It hangs up there a long time. He's aiming for out of bounds, and he does send the ball out of bounds on the far side of the field and fairly deep into Bear territory. Let's see just where they rule. I believe they're going to rule about the 13-yard line.
Guy goes out of bounds. The Bears take over possession.
So the Bears take over on their 13-yard line. 1st and 10, leading 27-21. Back with more action in just a minute.
Presenting Chicagoland with solid cars, the Chicagoland Solid Men of Olds in 1941 introduced a new solid car for the luxury car buyer, the Olds 98. Today, the Chicagoland Solid Men of Olds proudly invite you to test drive the latest in this particular series of solid cars, solid service, and solid deals. The 1977 Olds 98. Solid.
To fully appreciate the solid U98, you ought to get behind the wheel and drive one. See your Chicagoland Solid Men of Olds this week, and you can do just that.
Cut. 11 minutes and 27 seconds left to play in this ball game. The Bears are leading 27-21, 6 points. They have a 1st down 10 on their own 13-yard line. This is no place to fool around. By that, I mean no place to take too many chances. What the Bears have to do, of course, is retain possession of that ball as much as they can, largely on the ground, in order to consume as much time as possible and keep the ball away from Kenny Stabler and those wild receivers of his.
That's right, especially that Branch. All right. They're lining up now on the 13. The handoff to Walter, sweeps the right side, cuts in. He's not going to get any yardage to mount anything on this one. Maybe a yard, but certainly no more.
No, sir. The ball player who made that stop was Willie Hall, one of the defensive backs there, came up fast up to the line of scrimmage, and nobody there to block him, so Walter Payton ran right into him. 2nd down and 9 on the 14.
2nd down 9. You know, you're talking about those wild receivers. After all, that Branch caught one for 75 yards, and earlier this year, Stabler to Branch was the longest in the whole National Football League, 88 yards for a score against Green Bay. So it wasn't too much of an exceptional thing to have the guy pull it off today. They've done a lot of that down through the years. So you have to really worry. Here's the snap. The handoff goes to Harper, and he's got some good yardage on this play. Rowland knifes off the right side. Beautiful slant play. Banged his way up to about the 21-yard line. And
Monty Johnson met him up there, Jack, and drove him back. But, of course, he gets up to his forward progress, which puts the ball on about the, about 3rd down 2 on the 21.
All right.
Nice game for Harper.
That means it's now 3rd down, just 2 yards to go. And if the Bears can get a 1st down here,
we have to.
It can be significant. It can really be significant. Here's a key play in this ball game up till now. Scott wide right, Bashnagel split away to the left. Harper and Payton in the backfield. Slow count. Here's the snap, and it's given to Walter. Walter's got to get himself too, and he's having a tough time doing it. He battles as hard as he can. He rips and spins and battles, and I believe he may have made that 1st down. When it looked like for sure he was going to be stopped at the 20-yard line, he had to have 2 or 3 more yards, and somehow or another, that monumental second effort of his got it.
He was in the arms of Atkinson, the defensive back there, but he's kept spinning and twirling until he got that extra yard, and so the Bears do have a 1st down 10 on the 25-yard line, and with 9 minutes left to play, possession of that ball is the most important thing the Bears need right now.
1st and 10, Chicago on their 25-yard line. Avellini again, barking it out. Payton in a slot left. The handoff to Harper over the middle. And Rowland battles his way across the 30 and fights his way upfield to the 33-yard line. Beautiful. Over the middle work. with fine blocking right in the center, starting with Neal and the two guards, Jackson and Sorey.
They did some great job. They split David Rowe and Otis Sistrunk right there and made this hole for Harper to pick up that substantial yardage. 8 yards on that play right over the middle.
2 yards to go. Okay, second down 2. The Bears playing a marvelous game called ball control. If they can continue to play it, they're going to win this football game. They are ahead 27-21. Long time left in this football game. 8:38 to go. Here's the handoff, and it goes to Harper again and again. Rowland gets first down for the Bears as he battles his way up to the 40-yard line. Again, they made that play work. It was a kind of you almost call it a semi-trap play, Cup.
That's right.
And the cross-blocking in that thing took that tackle inside beautifully.
That's right, and Hall came up to make the tackle, but Al Davis, the managing partner of the Oakland Raiders, said at halftime, the Bears are nickel and diming us to death, and that's exactly what they're doing now. Short yardage plays, enough to keep possession of the ball. First down here and a first down there. It's now first down on the 40-yard line.
Okay. Bears leading 27-21, WGN Radio, Chicago. Here's Avellini barking it out. The handoff goes to Payton, and he's smeared. Ooh, brother, were they ready for him at the left guard position.
Oh, yes. Atkinson was right there to meet him, as was John Matuszek, who is not being handled by Dennis Lick very well today, and he was right there in the backfield to meet him, too, so he had no place to go. Incidentally, Dennis Lick is getting his baptismal today against a pretty good tackle there. He's having a little difficult time handling big John Matuszek. It's not easy. Many other end tackles have had the same problem.
Well, before it's all over, he'll get in his licks, I'll tell you that, because he's too talented.
Dennis the Menace.
Second down 10. Second down 10 for the Bears at the 40-yard line. Here's a pitch out. Goes to Payton. Sweeps to the left side. Look at that Hendricks move in. Oh, brother. Well, whoever was supposed to block Hendricks couldn't handle him again that time. Could have been Stevie, could have been Sorey, could have been Lick, whoever it was. It just didn't work.
That's right. Ted Hendricks played that play very, very well. He's accustomed to it. It was a little pitch out, and he was right there alongside the ball, received the ball halfback when he received the ball, and made the tackle very easily. So it becomes a 3rd and 13, a very big play for the Chicago Bears on their own 37-yard line. They would like to retain possession, of course, but how are they going to do it? Let's see.
Okay, 3rd down 13 for the Bears. The ball pushed back to their 37-yard line. 3rd down 13, Avellini. May look for a receiver here. No, it's a handoff to Walter. He's gone right behind Jackson, sweeping the right side, and he gets across the 40, up to about the 42 or 3-yard line. But the Bears are going to have to give up the football now, as Walter swept the right side. So the Bears are going to have to give up the football with a little over 6 minutes of playing time remaining, and the Bears leading 27-21.
That was Otis Sistrunk once again, who came from behind to make that tackle. He came over from his position, followed Payton around the end, and finally caught him when Payton had no place to go. And so the Bears now have a 4th down and 3 and a punting situation.
Dropping back, of course, is Colsey. He's standing just inside the 20. The kick will come from right around the 37, maybe 38-yard line. Good pass from the center. He gets the boot away. It's low, and it battles the wind very well. It's taken back on the 14-yard line by Neal. He's at the 15 now. Breaks a tackle at the 17, but he's down shy of the 20. He's down shy of the 20 as the Chicago Bears battle hard. 37-yard boot against that wind. Excellent. 5-yard return, so Oakland has the ball. 1st and 10 to go on their 20-yard line. Okay, let's see if the Bears can hold them, Cup. Oakland's 80 yards away from the Bear goal. The Bears are ahead 27-21. Here's Stabler looking, throws up the middle, and it's almost intercepted, not quite, by Clay Clemens. He had his hands on the ball at the 30-yard line, just could not handle it. The target was Boletnikoff, but he didn't have a chance. They were double-teaming him pretty good.
Nobody feels worse in this ballpark right now than Craig Clemens, who had his hand on that interception and a possible touchdown to clinch this ball game and couldn't hold on to it. Well, don't have to condemn a man. He gave it his all and just failed. But here we go, Jack.
Craig has won this year. 2nd down 10 now for Oakland on their 20-yard line. Here's Stabler dropping back again. He throws one back of the line of scrimmage, completed now to Davis, and he fights his way across the 25 to the 27. That was not a bad play at all. That was not a bad play. Even though the pass was back of the line of scrimmage, the little flare pass worked.
Chambers' great speed brought that play to a conclusion. He was bearing in on Stabler for a sack when the ball was passed off, and then he just veered around and chased the receiver, the ball carrier, and brought him down after a 6 or 7 yard gain. So now it's 3rd and 3.
4:56 to go in the football game. 3rd down 3. A 3rd down efficiency situation. Branch is in a slot to the right. Biletnikoff out to the right. Here's Stabler looking. He throws, and it is complete at the 45-yard line. The target was Branch, and Mr. Branch was ready for it. And so Oakland has the football now, shy of the midfield stripe to be true, but still a 23-yard gain on 3rd down when they had to have it. And so control of the football is still in the hands of the Oakland Raiders, and now they've batted the ball down at the Bear 49-yard line. The 49-yard line. Stabler, Ken Stabler, you may recall watching him. Maybe you watched that game on television earlier this year when he picked that Pittsburgh defense apart like a fried chicken. With 2 minutes to go for a couple of touchdowns, and Oakland won that football game. Back goes Stabler. He looks, he throws, hits the bomb. It's way down there, and it is grabbed by Branch. The ball bounced away from the Bear defender. It's a touchdown. The Bear defender going back with him. Virgil Livers actually had his hands on the football. He grabbed it. It bounced away from him, and Branch ripped it out of the air. Touchdown, 49 yards, and once again the Raiders have tied up the football game, and the conversion could give them the lead. Brown, boy.
A break for little Virgil Livers. He had the ball, he batted it, and he thought he had it batted out of the possible catch by Branch, but unfortunately Branch took the ball in midair and into the end zone for the TD to make the score 27-27.
You know, the ball looked like it might have gone through his hands and hit his shoulder. But anyway, we were looking, actually, we thought we were looking at an interception. All right, man will boot. There it is. It's up there and it's through. And so with 4:33 to go, it's the Raiders 28, the Bears 27 as Arrow Man comes up with one of the most important kicks he'll make, even though he had 647 going into this game. Back with the kickoff in just a minute.
What makes Harriman's Old Star unique among beers and gives it that great light flavor? Well, our unique brewing process has a lot to do with it. We start with crystal clear water. Only sparkling, pure spring water is good enough for Old Style. Water that flows cold and clear from deep beneath the ground. Some folks say all the way from Canada. We use this water in a traditional old world, pure brewing, double brewing process called poisoning. Poisoning is the most natural way to brew beer, and the most expensive. And it's what gives Old Style its great, light flavor. Try Old Style, pure brewed in God's country. G. Harriman Brewing Company, La Crosse, Wisconsin.
It's a kick taken by Musso at about the 16-yard line. He's up to the 30-yard line, battles his way to the 34-yard line. It was an angle kick away from Bashnagel, and Johnny Musso playing the left side grabbed it, and up the field he went for pretty good yardage. The Bears have 1st and 10 now at their 34-yard line. If the Bears can get down in field goal range, it can certainly help them win this football game. Now, once before, Thomas tried a field goal from the 23-yard line, and it was wide a little bit. 4:24 to go. Time for a lot of things to happen. Raiders 28, the Bears 27. Now, the thing you have to worry about, too, is the possible interception, because that Oakland secondary is a pretty ring-wise group. Here's the snap. Avellini dropping back. He looks. He throws over the middle. That is grabbed here on a short gain pass by Payton. And Walter gets a few yards for the Bears on that play. He grabbed the ball at the 38-yard line, so they're going to get themselves 4 on the play. It's going to be 2nd down and 6. 2nd down 6. For Oakland, look for such fellas as Skip Thomas and Willie Brown and George Atkinson and Jack Tatum to be kept a little busy, as well as those linebackers who, instead of rushing, just maybe backing up a little bit. 2nd down. They'll give them 5 on that one. 2nd down, 5. Here's the snap. Avellini with a pitch out now to Payton. Sweeps to that side. Gets a good block. from Harper. However, he's forced out of bounds as Latta misses his man. And he's going to get a little yardage on the play, not very much. In the meantime, Noah Jackson's a little slow getting up. He's face down on the AstroTurf here at Soldier Field, but he's okay now. He's up, looking at his right hand a little bit and his right arm, favoring it somewhat. The ball is on the 41-yard line. That's going to make it third down now. 3 yards to go for a first down. And here again, we have a pretty important play coming up.
Peyton, incidentally, Jack, has 88 yards and 31 carries. He still has a good shot at the continuation of the 100-yard mark goal.
Okay, third down 3 and 3:43 to go in the football game. Here's Avellini back. He throws, and it is caught by Basnagel at the 39. He's at the 35, and he's down to the 31-yard line. Brian Basnagel making a spectacular leap to grab one in a crowd. And the Bears are still battling away. Brian Basnagel completing a 28-yard gain for the Bears on that play. And so the clock continues to move now with 3:20 to go. And the Bears in Oakland territory at the Oakland 31.
Jack, they now are close, if not already, in field goal position. And nobody better than Bob Thomas would like to make amends, not only for missing a field goal here, but those 2 in Minnesota. So here's his...
Okay, wide to the left is Schubert on this play. Here's the snap. The handoff goes to Walter Payton, and he's got a little yardage on this one as he goes off left guard. Again, he had to do a little stutter step as he got to the line of scrimmage to try to find some kind of a hole there and see if he could get away from that Phillips. The ball has now been pushed to the 26.
It was Villapiano and Charlie Phillips who brought him down on that play after he picked up a few yards that he had no reason to pick up at all because there simply was no hole.
Second down 5, 2:30 to go. Bears trailing by 1, 28 to 27. Bears pressing, trying to get in field goal range. Here's the snap, and once again it's Harper, and he tries the left side. He gets a little yardage. He's got the ball down to about the 22-yard line. This has to be considered field goal range at this point, and the clock continues to tick toward the 2-minute warning. 2:08, 2:07. Ball on the 22-yard line. It's going to be third down and 1 for the Bears when they resume play. We're going to get the 2-minute warning here. Here it is. Automatic timeout, and the crowd stands to its feet. A standing ovation. Listen to the roar from the Bear crowd.
The Bears sense what's going to happen out here today. If the Bears can keep possession of this ball, they're going to have a golden opportunity, of course, for the field goal, which would give them a 30-28 victory, and that's what the fans are visualizing at this moment. A lot can happen, of course, before that does occur, but the Bears certainly are in good possession now. All they have to do is pick up a first down to keep their march going, keep moving as close as they can to the goal line, and failing to score a touchdown, they'll be in perfect position for Bob Thomas to win this ball game with a field goal. Third down 1 on the 22-yard line, Jack.
Okay, here we go. They're all lined up. Third down 1 for the Bears. The front man is adamantly right behind him is Walter Payton in that I formation. Little blast blocking ready here. Here is Walter, and he just barely was able to grab that football. That was almost a mishandled handoff. Avellini handing to Walter, and he did not make first down on that play. That ball almost was dropped.
They're signaling a fourth down, Jack.
So now it's going to be fourth down, a yard to go. No gain on the last play.
The Bears have asked for a measurement, but it is fourth down, it's obvious.
The Bears have asked for a measurement, which of course means they got a chance to stop the clock here with 1:55 to go. And it's not even going to be close. It's 4th and 1. The Bears, of course, wanting to know whether or not it's close enough to first down and maybe gamble on this play or whether they should go for that kick. Okay, now what?
What the coach has to weigh is the fact that they're kicking against a pretty strong wind. It's 4th down 1. Can they make the first down or not?
Wow, they're gambling. Johnny Musso has gone in. On 4th down and a yard. 1:53 to go. It would be a 32-yard field goal if they got it. Instead, they're going to gamble on 1 yard. Now they have Musso and Adamley and Payton in the backfield. 8 men on the rush. 8 men. Here's Walter, and he's off right guard. He's got the first down. Woo, boy. Off right guard, the right side did the job that time, and they held that defense just long enough for Walter to go through there for a fresh set of downs. Talk about a gamble. The Bears have shown a lot of gambling spirit today. The onside kick worked. The fourth down gamble worked. Wow. First and 10 to go, and the clock continues to tick away. 1:30 to go in the football game. The Raiders 28, the Bears 27. The ball is now just shy of the 20-yard line of Oakland. First and 10, Chicago. And you have Adam Lee and Peyton in the backfield. Here's the handoff to Walter. Sweeps the right side. He's going to turn the corner, and he's going to have no luck at all. He just barely got inside the 20-yard line. The ball is now going to be spotted down at just about the 19-yard line. It's going to be like second down and 9 for the Bears when it's brought in. That stopped the clock. It did not stop the clock. He did not go out of bounds, and so there's less than a minute to go, 56 seconds. Okay, now wait a minute, boys. With the clock moving like that, I kind of wonder.
They got time for another play or two, Jack, before they have to go for the field goal. Second down 10 on the 20-yard line.
Okay, they don't want to get Oakland a chance at the ball in case they do make it. Okay, here's the handoff. This time it goes to Peyton, and he goes off right guard, and again he inches and yards his way by 2 or 3 toward that goal. They want to get as close as they can so that when Thomas gets up there to kick that football, he's going to be just as close as he can head. It's Oakland who calls timeout. Oakland calls timeout. The Bears playing a game of nerves here, a game of brinksmanship, really, with that clock with Oakland, and this is the old story where they were eyeball to eyeball, and the other guy just blinked because it's Oakland who gave in and called the timeout. 30 seconds to go in the football game. The score, the Raiders 28, the Bears 27. WGN Radio, Chicago. Talk about a thrilling finish. We've got one coming up.
And Bob Thomas has better have his leg in shape now. He's been warming up down there. Bob Thomas, the man who missed the extra point here to give the Raiders a 1-point advantage, and the man who missed the 2 extra points in Minnesota to give the Vikings a 1-point lead. So poor Bob, he has a great chance here now to emerge as a hero and make amends.
You know, there's a very definite possibility that sitting in that crowd here today is a guy by the name of George Blanda who scored 2,002 points in NFL competition. It ought to be interesting to him to see what's going on in that Oakland bench right now.
Yes, I hope George is here today. He's provided more thrills, I think, than most of the quarterbacks in this league with his tremendous passing and his tremendous kicking in his days with Houston and Oakland.
All right, 3rd down and 7. The ball's on the 17-yard line of Oakland. 3rd and 7 on the 17. Again, the Bears trailing by 1 point, ladies and gentlemen. Parsons is in there, and so's Latta. So we're getting heavy blocking, the blast blocking type setup. And the Bears have Peyton on the left and Harper on the right in that pro set backfield. Here's Avellini handing the ball off now. It's Harper, and he goes inside the 15 to about the 14-yard line. 24 seconds, 23, 22. Let's see the Bears call timeout. That's what they're going to do now. And on the field comes Thomas. Fellas in there to do a little blocking are fellas like Jiggets. And also for the Bears, John Ward will center the ball. Holding the ball will be Gary Huff probably. Hartenstein's in there. Jackson stays in. Seavey stays in. All these men have very important assignments on this play coming up. Parsons stays in.
Huff is in there, Jack.
Gary Huff will hold the ball. Reeves is in there. Don Reeves. They're in the huddle right now. They're huddling between the 20 and 25-yard lines. The line of scrimmage is the Oakland Raiders' 14-yard line. 20 seconds to go in the football game. And if ever you saw a guy who wants to make one, it's Thomas now. Boy, nobody ever wanted one worse than Thomas does right now. Well, he got one for 47 yards. Now, Thomas so far this year has made 7. There's the spot down. The boot is up. It has the distance. It is good. What? It hit the goalpost. No good? Can't believe it. Can't believe it. Can't believe it. The ball apparently hit the upright. It had the yardage. And the most ejected man in America right now is a young fellow named Bob Thomas. The ball had the yardage all right, but it hit the upright and bounced back, and Oakland owns the football with 15 seconds to go.
And the ball game.
And, of course, they've got the ball game now because all they have to do is fall on the ball, and that's it. Unless you can have one of those miracles, a fumble recovery or something like that, and somebody running like crazy with it. Like, for example, Tatum on this ball club did against Green Bay for 104 yards one time. Here's the Stabler falling on the ball right now. And the Bears, of course, will stop the clock if they possibly can. 8, 7, 6. Why not call a timeout, fellas? 5, 4. They're not going to call a timeout. 1. That's it. It's all over. Okay. Final score, the Raiders 28, the Bears 27. We'll be back with Cubs recap in just a moment.
Say, Harry, I hear your oldest just started college. What's she majoring in? Spending money.
Come on in. Come on in. Come on in to HFC.
College can bring a lot of unexpected expenses. And when it does, come on into Household Finance. We'll do everything we can to lend you the extra money you need. HFC, an equal opportunity lender.
Come on in. Come on in. Come on in to HFC. You can use our money to get where you want to be. So come on in. Come on in. Come on in to HFC.
Household Finance, where people use our money to get the most out of life.
Come on in to HFC.
For a large or small loan, phone or visit Household Finance. 65 offices in the Chicago area, offices in all major cities in Illinois, Indiana, Michigan, and Wisconsin. Hook up.
Well, Jack, what a heartbreak defeat. Another one-point defeat for the Chicago Bears. Just as they went down to one-point defeat by the Minnesota Vikings, the missing of a attempted point, field goal in this case by Bob Thomas caused the Bears to go down 28-27. A thrilling ball game that had a dramatic build-up until the final 15 seconds, and that's when Bob Thomas's field goal, well kicked, hit the field, hit the uprights, and bounced the wrong way. The Bears played exceptionally good football today. They really took it to the Oakland Raiders and gave them gave the fans many a thrill. Especially when Avellini hit Scott for a 36-yard touchdown pass to make the score 21-13. Thomas converted to make it 21-14. And the Bears went 51 yards in 6 plays, and Peyton swept wide for a touchdown to make it 21-20. This is where Thomas failed, and so that one-point difference was right there. But then the Bears came right back, and Avellini hit Harper with a long pass, 37 yards, and Peyton swept in for a touchdown to make it 26-21. Thomas converted, and the Bears were ahead by 6 points, 27-21. But the great Oakland Raiders were not to be denied, and they came back with a touchdown pass, Stabler to Branch. Now, this itself was tainted because Livers had a chance to bat the ball down. He thought he was batting it down. Instead, he batted it up. It went into the hands of Branch, and a touchdown, 27-27, and Mann converted to make it 28-27. And then the great dramatic finish here as the Bears marched down the field, got themselves into position for a winning field goal, only to have Bob Thomas's 31-yard effort, well kicked, hit the goalpost, and bounced the wrong way. So the Bears go down 28-27, their 5th defeat of the season. That ends whatever playoff hopes they had. Oakland Raiders are now 8-1. And Jack, next week, Green Bay Packers.
Right. Well, that's it for now from Chicago's Soldier Field, where the Bears lost to the Oakland Raiders by a score of 28-27. Now this is Jack Brickhouse with a big thank you, of course, to Cup, our producer Jack Rosenberg, our director Jack Minovich, our statistician today Arnie Harris, our engineer Don Albert. Reminding you to be with us again next Sunday at 12:30 when the Bears take on the Green Bay Packers. This has been a presentation of WGN Sports.